not sorry to interrupt. Colt Wallace, Reese Tigert, CM Hary, Edric Alvarez. You guys rock. Thank you so much. Y'all are my number one patrons, number one patrons. You're all the best in my book. You've been with me since the start. You believe in me, and you continue to be patrons of everything I'm doing. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for everything. That's it. Welcome to the Joy of Paintball. I'm Clint Riddle. Today I talked to Stephen Hatch from DMG. Stephen Hatch of From the Sidelines podcast. Stephen Hatch, super cool dude. Yeah, super cool dude. Got to talk to him about his life, his family support, his mentorship and influences that he had throughout the sport. Got to talk to him about the podcast itself and how important it's been to his life. Got to share lots of art examples, and he was amazing. He talked about people you should know, players you should know. He talked about shout outs. So I don't even do those segments. They're built into this. It was a great episode. I loved every minute of it, getting to talk to him about his life and, sort of building connections. Turns out we're from the same streets, from the same neighborhood. Pretty cool stuff. This is Stephen Hatch. Oh, hey, just want to touch base with you guys. I don't know if y'all are listening, but if you hear the little pod sound like this, yep, the pod sound like this, that means that there's something popping up on the screen for you to watch. So I know podcasts you're intended to listen to. I do have video attached, so whenever there's art references or some sort of visual that I think you guys might want to see, I throw that up there, and it's preceded with this sound. So, my battery's running low, which means we need to get started. This is the Joy of Paintball. I'm Clint Riddle. This is Stephen Hatch. Enjoy. Well, let me give you an intro. Is it Steven or Steve-O or Stefan?
It's funny.
Or Hatch.
Everybody always calls me Hatch. I introduce myself as Steven, but everybody calls me Hatch.
Okay.
So now I get Mr. Hatch. It's my father's name. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
But that's what everybody calls me now is Mr. Hatch. Nice. It's weird seeing that.
All right.
And hearing that.
All right. So Stephen Hatch.
Yep.
Of DMG and From the Sidelines, and I'm sure I'm missing something. What's your? Are you a part of a gaming crew?
Oh, dude, I wish, bro. I wish. But I'm also a part of Austinoni. Shout out to them.
Right on. So that's legit. Like, you are part of it,
without a doubt. They
not just like familial, but like
no. They hired me to go over there and whip their team into shape.
Hell yeah. So, okay. So
very exciting opportunity.
Right on.
But
you've kind of like come up through the DMG camp, right?
100%.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Like, if you like, the whole story of my upbringing is just a weird one, but obviously it all starts with the originated paint, birthday party. But anyway, I grinded my way up through the divisionals through DMG.
Okay. So that's interesting. So if another pro team was like, hey man, we want to pick you up, and DMG was like, hey, just hold out like another year and then you're there.
I've asked myself this a lot, and I've talked to multiple of my teammates about it, where if a team came to me and was like, hey, we want you to play on our pro team, one, it would have to be life-changing money, right? You have to remember, I'm a very loyal person, and you're prying me from my boys, my family, the people that I want to be around, for these people that I know as a professional, right? Socially, but I don't know them at that level. I've never been their teammate before.
So yeah,
it would take a lot. It would take an absolute lot.
Not even like an experience. Like, if Dynasty was like, hey, you can come play and be mentored under us.
That would be hard, because obviously I would that's one of those things where everybody always says, when Dynasty's calling, you have to answer, right? But it's a thing where it's would I, right? It's like, I don't know, because obviously huge respects to Ryan Greenspan because what he's done with loyalty, right? Like where teams have thrown money at him saying, "Yo, come play for us."
That's a good point.
And he has been loyal to the Blue Dragon, right? I want to be loyal to the Purple Goblins, like what we are.
There you go. So will y'all just like? Is that an official mascot?
No.
I think it should be.
I completely agree with you. The Purple Goblins.
Y'all need a mascot, dude, because everyone's like, DMG, what is that? And they kind of like fiddle around with the acronym. Yeah. And I think you just say, hey, goblins are coming. They're coming for you.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying, right? I have this analogy where sometimes whenever we play, where it's like really rainy and stuff like that, then every time we play, the sun rays will peek through the sky. So I'm like, let's go, boys. Let's bring out that California heat, right? And then because sometimes whenever it's cold and freezing, that sun rays comes in at our games, and I'm like, it's like a plus 5% stat boost.
There you go. Yeah, a little vitamin D.
Yep, 100%.
Right on. Okay, man. Well, this is the joy of paintball, and I just I like to have creators on here, really, and it is paintball focused. I'm a paintball creator, not in a typical sense, I guess. I mean, the podcast thing is, I don't know if we can call that typical, but it fits the creator thing.
I would definitely say it's not typical because, like, look at 10 years ago. Were paintball podcasts a thing 10 years ago? Not even close.
I don't know that. I mean, what? There were like YouTube. Like, I think Sloviak was doing like GI's thing.
I think so too.
Maybe not 10 years ago.
There was Behind the Bunker. I don't know if that is I don't know if what they did exactly, but I remember I would see their videos, and they were kind of longer-ish, and I didn't really know what they really were, because obviously I was young, and my mind was like, all right, dude, you go watch Minecraft or something, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, it's the interesting thing about that is, like, I'm pretty sure it was, like, GI sponsored.
Really interesting, okay.
Like, it definitely, I mean, I don't know. I'm speaking out of turn.
Like.
Anyway.
I mean, the first, like, paintball podcaster, the first real one, like, in my opinion, Carl Markowski.
Podcaster, there was one before him.
Really?
But yes, he'll tell you there was one before him.
Okay.
But he's
not too familiar with that.
I can't remember his name. There's a Z in there somewhere.
Z.
But I think it's like the one, like if you look at the podcast little thumbnails that come up, like if you just search in Spotify or whatever, paintball, there's one that's got like a girl with it's like the old Splat magazine.
Interesting.
Things, and I can't remember. I don't know. Someone else will know. But he's because I had him on, and I did the same thing. I was trying to give him his flowers, and nice. He's like, yeah, no, it was this other dude that started it, but he definitely like carried the torch for a long time.
100%. Plus, he was a professional. That he had that aspect that everybody
had the clout.
Exactly, everybody wanted to hear. Right, everybody wants to hear that perspective, especially when he was bringing in so many high profile names at the time. Where when you're the only one doing it, and you're bringing in the biggest names.
Yeah, and what I loved is like he kind of like how Greenspan does it. Like he asks or brings up topics that maybe the guest, because it was guest, it's not like this, like I don't have anything hard to talk about. I'm not gonna be like, you guys really need to stop overshooting or whatever. Like I don't even know that, but he would talk to like Bart or like Tom Cole, and just sort of be like, hey, I really think we need to fix this, or he kind of uses platform to try and like get his, not agenda, but like his point across, I guess.
I agree, and I think that he carried the momentum of the roster by Planet Eclipse. He really carried that momentum through with his podcast, because that was a high profile name where we were like, the roster was a thing that obviously every paintball player can ingest, because that's a YouTube videos. Yeah. They were free, right? It was one of those things where it wasn't really a happy ending. So you wanted to hear Carl's story continued, and you got to hear it through the podcast. So it was a very awesome way of to convey that lesson.
Yeah. See, that's interesting. That's a great point, that like it wasn't a happy ending. And I try to think like how many paintball documentaries are a happy ending in the sense of victory.
I mean, One Night in November, that's one.
That's the main one. Maybe 15.
15, that's another one.
But like,
I think maybe one of the Reckoning series with Houston Heat in that 2012 year where they were banging it. You know, they were really good in 2012 when they first formed. Maybe that.
Okay.
Okay. The roster with San Antonio X Factor when it was 2013.
That one. Yeah, I
Yep,
forgot. They won World Cup.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh man, I'm going down memory lane with that, dude.
I gotta go watch that one again.
Like that was before I was like really into paintball. My very first paintball tournament, like I went to and I played one single point at with a throw together team that I'm forever grateful for. San Cal Lions, forever grateful for that team. Shout out to Teach and Mike Hernandez. But I was a kid. I think it was point approved memes or paintball photography put up a photo of Huntington Beach, and I was like, we should return to Huntington Beach. But that was like my very first paintball tournament ever, right? I played for 3 weeks at a birthday party, and then went to a Huntington Beach event with these guys.
What the?
Yeah, my mom took me, right,
dude.
So that was
wow. Yeah,
I do.
Not even like a local tournament first.
Well, in between then, there was a local. It was like play with a rental. My mom saw me fall in love with it, so she got me a proto something. Like, if I'm being honest, it was broken as hell. Like the eyes didn't even work. But shout out to my mom, love her for that. The fact that she gave me that transitional key, and then basically these guys when I play, they're like, oh, he's playing with a little proto. Yo, you wanna play for our team? And I was like, what the heck? Hell yeah! And obviously my mom was very skeptical, right? Because you're gonna go to play paintball with these dudes that they were all older than me. Like, I mean, I was in high school, like freshman, right? So maybe sophomore. But yeah, that was the thing where it was just a different culture back then, right? And now everything's so online where you can really find everything about somebody online now.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sorry. What? I just went on
no,
a crazy
we're
tangent.
going on this. No. We're sticking to this.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
Huntington Beach was your first tournament.
Yeah.
And you played 1 point. So that makes sense that you played 1 point then.
Yeah. And
that's dope.
It felt insane because that, like, the turf rolled over the sand. That was just an experience where it's like you can literally feel the sand squish underneath the turf, right? But the turf was so good you could just slide for days, right?
Oh,
I mean,
man.
And I was that kid where it was like walking the field and I was like sliding because I was like, I wanted to make sure I got to feel the playing. So
of course
I could describe it later on, right? But shout out to the Alliance guys for bringing me on and really like giving me that boost and confidence to play competitive paintball. Yeah,
man, that's amazing. So it sounds like your mom plays a big role too.
Oh, without a doubt. It is so. My mom is very tough love. I grew up very, very tough love where I guess a little bit after that time where my mom would come to practice with me every once in a while, and there were these other guys that were on the team and they brought their moms, right? Because we were kids, we were all the same age. I didn't get like heat exhaustion, but it was hot. I drank a lot of water. I threw up, right? And all the other moms are like, "Oh my God, he needs to go home. He's sick." And my mom was like, "What the hell? Nah. Get out there, bro.
Yeah,
munch on some crackers and get back out there, right?"
Yeah.
And so everybody thought my mom was crazy, but the fact that she pushed me so hard is, probably one of the reasons why I am the person I am today, without a doubt. Because I wasn't a good student, but she pushed me through, right?
There you go.
I would make sure that I could, I guess, make her proud. That's one of the things I had to make sure, at least in that. So that's one of the reasons why I'm into paintball so much is because, and she loves the game so much, and just showing her a photo of me playing paintball makes her proud. Yeah, it's awesome.
Does she make it to the tournaments? Is she able to make it?
She has made it. She has made it to some. I have flown her out. I think the last one I flown her out to was 2 years ago. Cup. That was the one that I flew her out to.
Nice.
But when I was a kid, definitely she came with me everywhere because
nice. Yeah.
I was a troublemaker. I am not surviving by myself.
Okay.
So she had my
Good
back,
for her,
and
man.
You know, she taught me how to travel, without a doubt.
There you go.
At least the easy way, where I'm like, all right, someone else is taking me. Let me put my headphones on.
There you go.
So yeah.
Shout out Mama Hatch.
Yeah, shout out Mama Hatch. She's fantastic. Without her, I mean, I
Nice.
literally wouldn't even be here.
Right on. And she's still okay. So you said Pops.
Yeah.
passed away.
So he's been gone for a while, right? One of the
Was that
reasons
before paintball?
way before paintball,
Okay.
right?
All right. We don't have to talk about it. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's more what
My mom passed away when I was 15, so I was like, dead parent club, I guess.
Amen, brother.
You know,
Amen. I feel
like,
that.
It's just kind of desensitized, and I have to like catch myself and be like, oh, that's probably shouldn't ask that.
No, you're good. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, right? And let me just say, shout out to my mom, because she played both roles, right? And
Hell yeah. I've heard you say that before too.
right? She's had my back, right? Damn it, dude. There were times like I grew up with no money, to the point to where my mom, when she would come home and cook dinner, she would give me, like, if it came to a whole pie, and it's cut into quarters, she would give me 3/4, and she would take the last 25%. My mom was a trooper.
Hell yeah, man.
Right, and she would still have enough time to, come to my paintball matches. There was a time where she had to drive 2 hours away for her commute every day for work.
Dang.
Where I had to go, I lived with my grandparents for a while, right? Just because she was so busy, holding it down to make sure to make ends meet. So, I'm incredibly grateful.
Respect, dude.
I'm incredibly
That's
grateful
amazing.
for her. Without her, man, I couldn't even picture my life without her. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, much love to Mama Hatch. Cool. So do you think, I guess the reason I was asking about your father, just the timeline.
Yeah.
Do you think that's kind of why paintball was there? Like, I noticed this, like you talked about it, like a team of older dudes, potential mentor dudes to sort of like step in,
1,000%. 1,000%. Mike Teach Hernandez, that guy was without a doubt one of the biggest father figures that I've ever had, without a doubt.
Hell yeah.
I still talk to him to this day, and he is without a doubt a paintball patriot. He bought the local paintball field to his house, and he has improved it like tenfold compared to what it was.
Nice.
And
yes,
they are turning that organization into something special, right? It was something special when I was on it, but now the fact that it's still continued, right? I help run DMG, and it is so hard.
Yeah.
So running it multiple divisions at a time, and a paintball field, and working a full time business suit and tie job, dude, that must be exhausting.
It's, it feeds people, like that feeds their soul, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I agree. Yes, it's probably exhausting, but also enriching. And to know, to see someone like you, you're a great dude, man. I've met you a few times in person, and I've met you, I've talked to you online a lot, and I see the content you put out. You care, man. You're a good dude.
I appreciate that.
And I bet he sees that, and he probably wouldn't take credit for it. Sounds like a nice, humble dude, but I'm sure he knows, hey, I had a part in that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's funny. It's funny what you say, right? Because without a doubt, dude, daddy issues, without a doubt, right? So, dude, I get my father figure time in where I can, right? So I guess while we're on the topic, I definitely want to give this guy a special shout out. His name, I call him Mr. Hillis, right? Because the way how I met this guy, this is just crazy lore, right? So I used to date his daughter.
Oh,
right?
Right.
Crazy shit, right? crazy story. And we dated for about 2 years, right? And dude, me and him, it was when I would go and hang out with her, me and him are going in the garage to fucking make some woodworking, some kind of he would teach me crazy stuff.
Yeah,
he would teach me all this survival shit. He is basically, I don't know if you've heard of this YouTube channel. It's called Outdoor Boys. He is.
No, I've not heard about it.
Okay, dude. I'm putting you on right now.
I'll check it out.
I'm putting you on right now. That's the best.
All right.
But he is basically that guy from Outdoor Boys, where he knows how to do fucking everything.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Am I allowed to cuss? I'm so
it's all
sorry.
good, man. Yeah.
Okay.
You're good. Yeah.
he really like took the reins and really like sunned me up, treated me as if he was I was his own. And even after, I mean, me and that girl, we broke off on fair terms, right? We're like, you know, I'm not happy, you're not happy, let's get the hell out of here, right? And I mean, I still talk to the guy to this day, and that was over 10 years ago, where I was dating his daughter, right? And we were still very, very good friends. Where he's had my back. There have been times where I've had to call him at like 2 a.m. because I've needed a favor, and he's done the same thing where he's called me at 2 a.m. where, you know, I need to go get something for him, and boom, I'm there. He is one of those people that really molded me into the person I am today, for sure.
Awesome.
Closest thing to a father I've ever had.
Nice.
For sure.
You love to hear it, dude. Like, you know, people just stepping up and like doing what needs to be done. That's great.
100%.
I love that you can acknowledge it too.
And it's weird because everyone's like, oh, dude, that's your ex-girlfriend's dad. Bro, like, when you look at it like that, you're the fucking weirdo when you look at it like that, right? Just look at it like he's just a person.
Here's how I look at it. As the father of a daughter, I see it as, all right, if he's going to come over to my house, he's going to want to be alone with my daughter. I'm going to make sure he's not.
100%.
So we're going to go work in
And, dude, that was what got my gears ticking, right? That was stuff that I love working with my hands, and it is just, he genuinely is an artist. Genuinely. Nice. So, for
Sweet.
Sure. Shout out to Robert Hillis. Very grateful for him.
Robert. Thanks, man.
So he'll probably listen to this one day. So yeah, for sure.
Right on. Is he a cool guy on social media?
Dude, Can I tag him in this? Bro, he is so far from social media. He is one of those guys where he takes care of his family, and does his own thing, and does it for the love of the art. Yeah. Right. And whatever he puts his mind to, he'll build it, and he'll give it away. He's one of those guys.
Nice, dude.
Incredible human being.
Nice. Sweet.
Absolutely.
I love it.
You remind me a lot of him with a lot of your artwork, for sure.
Oh, dude.
No joke. Without a doubt.
Nah.
I mean, I see some of your artwork, like, especially like when I first saw you, I saw you designing some of those, like that Hormesis, the one that's behind you. I can't really tell exactly which one. Yeah, those ones in general. I was like, damn, what is that? Like, who made that? Right, and I'm just seeing him pop up, and I'm like, what the heck? And then all of a sudden I'm seeing the paintings, like I'm art illiterate, brother. So I don't know if it's like watercolor or something, but it's paintings. Oh, and I was like, dude, this is the shit. Thanks, without a doubt.
I appreciate that.
The past year I have become I wouldn't say an art connoisseur, because I can name one art piece by name, right?
Yeah. But there you go.
And I knew it specifically for you, right?
Okay. Don't spill the beans yet.
I won't spill the beans. But yeah, dude, this past year my life has been so changed to where art has been a huge outlet for me.
Good.
100%. Just observing. I haven't found my way to convey my own art yet. You know how you have paintings. And
I like that statement.
You have like
you want to,
right? Some people have like sculptures. I don't know what mine is yet, but
so you want to work with your hands.
100%.
You don't want it to be.
Right now, I'm just an observer. I'm just a student.
I'm gonna have to like send you a kit and.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just like set you free with that.
Right, I'm just a student of the game right now, and art is all in the eye of the beholder. Right, that's a huge thing that's been a quote since time has began. Right, so that's one of those things that I've been heavy in.
Yeah, man. I think it's interesting the way you phrase it. Like, you got to make something, and I think were you ever part of skate culture?
For sure.
Yeah, dude. Like,
I sadly evolved into a scooter kid, but yeah, I definitely was part of skate culture.
Okay, well, I don't know if that counts, but we'll see.
No, you're good.
Scooters,
you're good.
I can look at and I'm like, yeah, you did a flip. That's impressive, but it has yet to look smooth.
Let me tell you, I can still skate. I started skating, but then when I got older, I was like, started doing like the bride flips where I'm flinging it over my head, and I'm like, this was insane.
It's cool, but it's.
And also, I popsicled myself in the ass once with a skateboard, and I was like, yo, that hurt.
Yeah,
I'll take 10 shin smacks with a scooter than a
I don't
popsicle
know.
on a skateboard.
Shins are rough. I was what they call a fruit booter. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I like
so
that.
I was going around on the inlines. It wasn't, the most. I'm pretty old. It wasn't the most PC era. So
Whatever.
Skateboarders called us fruit booters, and we didn't have any good comebacks, so we just kind of went to the other side of the park.
I feel that, dude. Skate park. Luckily, it was big enough, dude. Hopefully, you were blessed enough with a big enough skate park to where, you could just go to your side and do your thing.
Yeah. It was fun, man. I gotta get back into that too. Anyway, sorry. The skate culture to me, like, I think art at its core is like a performance, whether it's
100%.
for audience or for yourself, or both. But I think like skating, like there was, times where I didn't give a shit what anyone else, like if they saw me make this trick or not.
Mm-hmm.
It was, if I know I can do it, then I've won, and I think that, I don't know if it's the same with you. Like I'm competitive to a point, but I also like I'm not gonna, like with paintball, and it's probably why I'm not semi-pro like you or any level higher. But
That's formerly pro elite. That's formerly
okay,
pro
sorry.
elite.
My bad. Yeah, pro elite. Yes. Forgot about that.
All 30 seconds.
Yeah. Hey, but you were there. You did it.
All my hard work.
No, like it was more about the personal accomplishment, and then the team aspect I loved. Like the team aspect wasn't about winning necessarily. Like, yeah, it was about winning, but it was about like, these are my brothers, This is my family
and
here, and yeah, sorry.
No, you're
it's weird.
I'll relate
This
something.
is gonna be all tangents. This whole pod. Yeah,
I'm in for it, brother. I'm in. It kind of relates back to skate culture, right? Okay, so what is going to make you realistically more competitive when you're when you're in a skate group where when you miss the trick, they're laughing at you, like, oh yeah, I knew you weren't going to land that, or when you surround yourself with a support system where you miss it and they're like, oh dude, look how close you were.
Yeah, for sure.
What is going to make you more competitive? What is going to kill the entire vibe of everything for you when someone's just critiquing your art like that, right? Obviously, you can choose to listen to it or not, but when it's your support system chirping, it's different.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like, even, like, skateboarders, I love it. Like, go watch the old X Games or just now still. Someone, like, stomps a trick, dude. They're banging the coping with their trucks and stuff and, like, cheering them on.
It's hype.
Where you're not going to see that on a football team. Like, when the Eagles dude did the, like, 360 jump backwards over the dude, Saquon Barkley, I can't remember his name, sorry guy, but he did an incredible acrobatic thing. If you're on the other team, like, and you're not like, oh, that was amazing,
yeah,
I'm sorry, like, you gotta give it up for that stuff. Like, anyway,
for sure, it's hard because, like, when I see somebody, like, okay, say if someone like bunkered me in the head and then does a backflip, I'm gonna hate that backflip. Oh my god, I'm not gonna lie. But
or like if someone pulls off like a 1-on-3 or a 3-on-1 or whatever.
Yeah, if it's against us, I'm pissed. But I'm realistically, I'm like, damn, great move.
Good, yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna talk to him afterwards.
If he can genuinely pull off a 1-on-3 against my team, bro, the guy earned it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like any team in semi-pro, if you pull off a 1-on-3, like, bro, that is kudos to you. Even at D4, like presence alone, it doesn't matter what division you're in. It's all relative. That's a lot of pressure on you, for sure.
Yeah. Sweet.
But dude, I mean, like, okay. Let me tell you something, Clint. Let me tell you something.
Bring it.
Okay, hold on. I don't know if you. Boom.
What do we got? Hey, there it is.
I was talking in the Hatch monologue about when we first met. But obviously we interacted online. But when we first met, because I'm pretty sure I saw you online. You had long hair, and then when you came out to me and you're like, "Yo, what's up?" I was like, "What the f?"
Who's this guy?
Then Brando's like, "Oh, this is Clint Riddle." I go, "Oh oh my god, what? I was like, oh my god, it's like I'm in the presence of Van Gogh. You know what I'm saying? It was
false.
It was insane. No,
False.
let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something.
Van Gogh was. If you want to learn about Van Gogh, I got you.
Absolutely,
He was
but
something else.
He never. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong about the Van Gogh lore. He never really got famous. His work never truly got its appreciation until he was way far gone.
Yeah, he sold one piece while he was living,
dude,
and it was through his brother.
And that, let me tell you, every person that genuinely creates something, not just something for nothing, but creating something for purpose that makes art. Truly, that can be the next Van Gogh, or the next Da Vinci. We just don't even know, because we're in their lifetime. It's gonna be way more crucial in the future.
Yeah, like if we put importance on it, like
exactly right.
You know, like part of it, like all of these, like this internet stuff that's coming on, like, is this actually going to be around in 50 years?
Absolutely.
You know?
Like I have no idea. Like what? Like the whole concept of the internet is the thing. Is it a place? Like, bro, where am I putting my stuff?
Oh, man.
You know, like, what is the internet? The cloud, bro. What is the online? So
that's
I genuinely don't know if, like, maybe the people before us had internet, and then all of a sudden the apocalypse came, and you know what I'm saying? You never know.
Yeah.
Right.
Gonzo. Yeah.
Maybe the pyramids were the first router. You know,
dude,
to get for internet. You never know.
That's worldwide. Yeah.
Right. So I'm still trying to figure it out myself with this whole internet thing.
On.
But I don't know, dude. Is it going to be here forever?
I don't, like, that's the thing. Like, you know, these paintings are tangible things, and I'm seeing a movement back towards tangible things.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I think even before COVID, there was this move, and it's around still, but this move to make digital art more prevalent. And it, like, yeah, it's still here, but I do see a lot more, like, makers, not just painters and draftsmen, but like woodworkers, sculptors, people doing this stuff, like chefs or you know, freaking bread makers, like whatever.
That must
like,
be the hardest type of
stuff.
art, because you see it get destroyed right after.
Hey, hopefully they're smiling. So
100%, exactly right.
Yeah,
but you work so hard on your art piece of spaghetti, and then now they're just slurping it.
Yeah.
So that must be a hard part of an artist, of a chef, to get over.
Yeah. I like to be the artist that is consuming. I think that's my art. My true art is the intake.
I'm the same way, right? I have a painting on my wall right there. You know, my mom painted that.
There you go.
Right?
Hell yeah, man.
I'm a huge consumer of art. Huge consumer of art.
Nice. Yeah, you are. Like video games.
Oh yeah, that is my favorite type of art.
There you go. What's your? I know Halo's like a.
Yeah.
Is that what you were raised on?
Definitely. You know, I grew up with Halo. You know, well, I should have known in 2007. I should have been buying a house in real estate. You know, while I was like 12 and just investing it.
Yeah.
But I was playing Halo 3 Slayer. You know.
There you go.
So priorities.
When you were 7,
I should have known. At that point,
gosh.
it was 2007.
Like 15 or something.
I was 10. 1997. I was born in 1997. Damn.
I played Halo 1. I did LAN parties of Halo 1.
I did LAN parties of Halo 3.
High school.
And I remember.
Really?
Yeah, and I would go over to my friend's house, or sorry, not my friend, my cousin's house, and he would have huge LAN parties with his friends. He was way older. He is 16 years old. All the grandchildren are 8 years apart. So he was 2 above me, 16 years. So he knew what he was doing. So
that's cool though. Like, was it all family or
parties.
Buddies that were coming over?
All buddies. Like, he would have it was insane. Where we would have like 12 huge, like, the big back TVs. You know what I'm saying? That shows my age without a doubt. You know, because now it's about flat screen. So everything's about that minuscule now. But you know.
Yeah. No, dude, that's fun. LAN parties that was why I played video games, because it was the team thing. Like, I didn't care if we won, but if I'm going to talk trash to someone, I want to be there to do it in person, you know? And So, and just you're hanging out with your buddies, and it's a good time.
Oh yeah. Now everything's like so online, which I'm not mad about either, because I get that now that we're older, we have lives. Like we can't just, hey, you want to come over and play video? No, dude, I gotta mow my lawn, or I'm gonna they're gonna fine me because I live in an HOA. Like things of real life come up all the time, to where gaming is kind of a thing where boot up your computer. Hey, let's jump on a couple games of Valorant.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't play that much. I like monitor my kids a little bit as they play. Like they're big Fortnite guys, so I'm like, let's turn the mics off, guys. I don't.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. As a guy who sometimes plays Fortnite with my friends, 100%.
It's not even the language is comical at times. Like these little kids that don't know how to cuss, but it's more like the just unnecessary, like
dude, the people
I guess bullying is what you could call it, but it's like that's different.
There are weirdos on there,
the
bro.
Bullying that I had. Oh, that too. Yeah, like I don't want grooming.
Not even that. Just like weirdos that just like that they just don't know. They obviously don't understand that they're talking to a kid, and there's certain things you just can't say in front of a kid, bro. They just don't. They just don't have that mental connection yet. To where I mean. Okay, I fell a victim to that when I was a young kid playing Call of Duty, World at War back in the day. I had friends that were way older than me online that were teaching me things that I should not have known, right? So I do understand that the both ways of the tug of war fight. But dude, there are some weirdos online, especially on Fortnite.
For sure.
But I mean, I love playing video games with my friends because it gives me an outlet. That's like one of my favorite pieces of art is video games. I mean, especially games like Elden Ring, like Dark Souls.
I've not dipped into that. I've heard you talk about it on the sidelines, but it sounds intriguing.
That is a truly artful game.
It sounds like the same like amount of investment you need for like D&D, and I am not like I love the idea of D&D, but it's like, man, I feel like I'm about to enter a relationship.
I would realistically say no, because one, I love Elden Ring, and two, I don't play D&D.
Okay.
Not yet, at least.
There you go.
Not yet, at least. Well, and I have a girlfriend. So, that's one of those things that, she plays Elden Ring with me. I'm blessed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
She knows what's up.
That's dope.
Yeah.
All right.
Blessed.
There you go.
But, I mean, what is... Okay, Clint, what is your game of choice?
For video games?
Yeah.
Halo 1.
That's like the go-to?
Like, if I could rewind time and go play Halo 1, and, like, we had to connect the Xbox to Steam, and then go find a chat room and be like, hey, CTFBG, like, you want to go play Capture the Flag on Blood Gulch?
Yep.
That was it.
Damn,
that was our own
code.
Yeah.
Gamer code.
Yeah. And, you'd kind of like negotiate with people to get the map that you wanted.
Oh yeah.
And then you'd play them, and it was fun. It was different because you never knew. It wasn't like it is now, where it's like they sort of, I feel like it sorts you with people of the same level.
Skill-based matchmaking, that's a whole debate on itself, brother. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't really mess with it. I played Apex a few times with the buddies I grew up with, and it was just like, God, it was like playing a scenario game versus playing a point in X-Ball. Like, I want to play now. I don't want to run around for 10 minutes not knowing what's going on.
Okay.
Like, it took, like, how am I going to learn this map? Like, I probably, I didn't spend a whole bunch of time, but it's virtually the same map on Apex, probably an hour, 2 hours, and I'm just like, I die the second anyone shows up.
Those games are more like the investment, like a girlfriend, where if you're truly trying to treat those games competitively, bro, you gotta marry that game. You gotta play just that game. You slack, you're done. You're out. You're yesterday.
And there is, I know they have skill, but there's this other skill of knowing all of the weapons and all.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's the investment.
Weapons. Like,
you have to know everything. You have to.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna fall behind.
Like, yeah, and so it was just like, I think I missed my time for that. So Halo 1, honestly, if I'm being honest, me and my wife played Tetris and Dr. Mario a lot. On the old
interesting
Super Nintendo.
Okay,
and so
that's a vibe.
It's like, I mean, we're right next to each other playing, and just sort of like, something kind of thrilling about that, where you're like, it's again with like the LAN party, like you can talk shit to each other.
Oh yeah.
We don't, but like you can be like, damn it, and they can hear you be upset that they succeeded.
Have you ever played a game like It Takes Two or anything like that?
Dude, yeah, I played that with my son.
That game is awesome.
Game.
Oh yeah.
Graphics,
Sick,
the graphics,
beautiful.
the concept,
art.
Like, I don't know. I don't follow the gaming industry that much, but I hope that got a lot of awards.
It got Game of the Year. It Takes Two got Game of the Year.
No way.
Yeah.
What? Do you remember what else? Like what it was against?
Let me look it up. I'll look it up for you quick, but I'll keep talking at the same exact time, right? So I'm not stacking too much, right? But
actual pro.
That game truly was. God damn it.
It was great. Like, I remember like sort of hearing the concept, and I'm hearing it from my son, and he describes it pretty good, but I didn't realize the whole like the underlying concept of like them trying to find their child, and then also like they're kind of rekindling their relationship, or and it covered like big topics. It was like freaking the Mr. Rogers of video games. Like,
me and my girlfriend were playing it. Me and her were like, I wonder how many relationships this has made or broken.
Oh, you think so?
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, there's a meme where it's like, to every girlfriend that's trying to make jumps for an hour and a half, there's a patient man waiting, right? And it's just like him, just like standing there with the obstacle course done, like waiting for. Because obviously men play video games religiously more, right? And
not me. Like, our roles are reversed.
Yeah.
At this house, I don't. My wife, all of my family are like, "Oh, Dad's playing video games. Let's take it down to the beginner level." And
okay.
But yeah.
I'm gonna be there one day.
There you go.
But so 2021, that was the year that it came out. So I got to look up 2021 nominees.
Dude, that came out COVID year.
Yeah, dude, and that was what game where it truly was one of those.
What timing? Yeah.
I mean, so the other ones that were in that category weren't the craziest, right? So there was Resident Evil Village, which that game is insane itself. I love that game.
It's got a huge following.
It Takes Two. Then it's like Psychonauts 2. I don't even know what that is. Mm-hmm. Metroid Dread, Deathloop, and then Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And those are that exact.
So, I would say, wow, yeah. Either way,
I would compare to all those for sure. I would definitely give it to It Takes Two.
That's a great game. Right on.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many games that are like that. Like A Way Out. There's a new one that just came out. Yeah.
I heard about this.
I don't even know.
Our family's kind of hooked on It Takes Two, so they brought it up whenever that came out.
Yeah, and I love games.
Yeah,
like that.
That's a good one. I've spent a lot of time on that. Yeah.
I mean,
every now and then I'll get a wild hair and like want to play a video game, and like a new one, and that was definitely like the most recent. So
yeah, that's sick.
And it wasn't. I mean, it was probably 2 years ago. So
yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah,
I'm a goober, bro. I'm a religious gamer. I'm a goober. So
nice, dude.
It's one of those things where it's an outlet. It's an outlet. So
for sure,
I'm blessed.
Honestly, I think it's better than watching TV.
Oh, 1,000. If people are like, "Oh, you're wasting your time on that game," while they're going to watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I don't want to hear a peep about what is actual useful information on what I'm getting. Sure, I'm getting Elden Ring lore about the maddening hand that gives madness, right? That's not going to give any real life value. But what is that? That is literal brain rot.
Yeah. You're like actually active, like using your brain when you're going through the game. And
yes,
stuff. And interacting with folks. I think I never played it, but interacting with the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of those games where they throw you in knowing nothing.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say this. Historically, I've enjoyed watching people play video games.
Oh, so you're a fan of the Rad Brad? Do you know the Rad Brad?
No.
Dude, that is a YouTuber where I'm
an old dude.
Whenever I couldn't afford a video game when I was younger, he was the YouTube channel because he played every game. And he would do a full walkthrough of the game just in such detail. Nothing crazy, just him playing it. And it was awesome.
It's usually, I've not run into it. My kids will do that. Like, they'll watch some games, like when the Spider-Man came out on the PS5. Mm-hmm. But I've not gotten into that. It's mostly like if other people are playing, it's essentially my form of TV. So like the I want to say the most recent Zelda, like my wife and my oldest were totally into that. Mm-hmm. And in college when Assassin's Creed came out, oh dude, I watched my buddy play that.
I love Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima right now. That game is an art piece.
Okay.
10 out of 10.
Okay. All right. I'll have to recommend it so that I can watch it.
100%.
That's I wonder, I'm thinking now, like, it's the youngest sibling, like, thing, you know? Like, I wonder if, because, like, my older brother would be like, no, I'm playing, or whatever. Like, I wonder if that's what it is, or if it's just an appreciation thing.
Absolutely. I mean,
anyway.
Yeah.
Let's get back to you. Sorry.
Yeah. Crazy tangent. Here we go.
No, dude, that's great. All right, so video games, DMG, a little bit of skate, a little bit of scooter.
Yep. I've been paintball for honestly almost more than I haven't been. I'm almost at that point in my life.
There you go.
It's not, all right. I mean, it's okay. This is my 11th year playing.
Nice.
Playing and being around paintball. So,
right on.
You know,
how old are you?
27. So it's definitely not that halfway point where I'm like split down the middle, but I'm getting there.
Yeah. Nice.
Those years are only going to go up as long as I stay around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I can't see
at
myself
this
leaving.
point, even if you're like, nah, I'm going to take a year or whatever, like, you'll be back.
Oh, 100%.
That's always like, yeah. I talked to Andy Horvath, and he was
that guy's a baller. I'm a big fan of that guy.
He's a cool dude. Yeah, I loved talking to him. But he mentioned like he took a year off and then came back. Honestly, it sounded like the community like reached out and was like, "Hey," like I don't know his name. The dude that is in charge of Collision was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, come play with us."
Probably David Ramirez. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
cool guy.
That's real loud. Sorry.
No, you're all good. You know what? I'll quietly shake up my liquid IV right here.
Oh, all right. Yeah, get your from the sideline special. A liquid IV. There it is.
Use code Mafia_Moffitt for 20% off and free shipping. Here we go.
There it is.
We hit those.
Right on.
But
all right. Well, let's do. That's a good segue. Let's talk podcasts a little bit. So, how did you and Moffitt and I'm assuming DMG is how you and Brandon cross paths?
The original podcast, actually, Brando wasn't even on it. The original podcast, there were 4 members, and the only people that are there that are from that original 4 are me and Ryan, right? So it was me and Ryan who were the main ones, and then it was Evan Fernandez, who played pro on DMG at the time, and a guy named Austin Kane, who was my teammate, right?
Okay.
And we just had a good camaraderie of people that could basically shoot the shit and that people could relate to,
Yeah.
And that was one of those things that we kind of wanted to convey, that it's like, we're not a paintball podcast. We're a podcast that's by paintball players, right?
Yeah.
And we can talk about literally anything, It's not limited to paintball. We just all have that in common. Mm-hmm. And, after literally after 20 weeks, we got to the point to where I pitched the idea, hey, we need to start doing this style where, hey, it's way more interactive when you have a face cam and people can see you. People can see your talk. Yeah. People can see your mannerisms. If you're like, hey, dude, look at this look at this bottle of water. You know, I could show it off to the camera.
Yeah,
and it's just way more easily followable, I guess, or easily consumed.
I think it helps us.
Yes.
Like, I think us seeing each other, like, were y'all not like?
No, we were just in a Discord call, right? That was it.
No way.
And then, dude, it was so funny. So, okay, there's this special shout out to another artist, and I know you're gonna know this guy, Dylan Fout.
Hell yeah!
Right?
That dude's a champ.
Let me tell you. So we had him on, and he was like he got honestly nervous a little bit, right? And he turned on his face. He's like, "Oh, is it okay if I turn on my face cam?" And we're like, "Oh, sure, no problem." And then I was like, "You know what? I'll turn mine on." And then we recorded it with him seeing me the whole time.
And Dylan did like this slow clap. He's like, "I'm just gonna start this and hope everyone else jumps in."
Yep. And then literally that sparked the idea, because at the very end, when we were done, push the unrecord button. He was like, "Honestly, Hatch, that made it so much better for me to like for the flow and just talking."
Yeah.
And that was one of those things where, dude, if I can make a guest feel even 1% more comfortable to where we can actually get them to reveal a little bit of what's under the armor.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because everybody, dude, so many people, especially when we bring in these pros, they have this armor, right? Of where being vulnerable is like a bad thing.
Yeah, which is weird.
And I like getting it to where, I mean, they might not like it to where you kind of have to battle and kind of chip off the armor with your sword a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, we're gonna find out who you are.
There you go.
And that was one of those things that I had to convey, especially once we started getting face cam. And then once we started getting face cam, some of the other guys on there were like, you know, I'm not really comfortable with having my face everywhere and blah, blah, blah. And so we were like, okay, like we understand that. And then right after that, right, those two dudes left, and me and Ryan were like, all right, we're going to carry on the duo show. But I was like, dude, we should ask Brandon Baird, because he's my teammate. Right, and I didn't know that was his first year on the team with us.
Really?
Yeah, that was his first year on the team with us, and It was me and Brando. It was that thing where you just felt the energy, where you just knew you were going to get along with that guy. To where
it's like when you find a back player or a front player.
Yes, we just knew how to play with each other so well off the start, like right off the gate. Right, the first practice, the first point we ever played together, I was like, damn, this guy's going to be, you know. Me and him are gonna wrecking ball down a side together, and
we're doing some work.
So I pitched it to Ryan. Hey, we should go talk to Brando Baird, and then we found out about his lineage and his bloodline, about being. Do you know any of the lore behind that?
His dad was like one of the OG. Was it Bob's Iron Men, or was it?
I think it was even before Bob's Iron Men.
Okay.
I think I'm completely butchering the lore, Clint. I apologize.
It's all good.
But
it's all good. I can't correct you.
Hey, the Joy of Paintball Facts official, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
Official. Everything's true.
So shall it be written, so shall it be said.
So we had that kind of thing where we're like, you know what? We could play with that. I like that. And we brought him in, and we have not looked back ever since.
Nice.
And let me tell you, this podcast has saved my life. I'm not even joking. It is.
How so?
It has gotten me out of the depths of mediocrity. There are times where I truly felt like I was like, man, everybody, like on DMG, right? Everybody that was my teammate was getting picked over me. Everybody. And I was, you know, obviously a huge inspiration to me was the Impact series, right? And, you know, one of those things where I was like, if I could talk about my progress, where it's like I could have a set baseline of where I am now, when I'm in the depths of D3, getting crapped on every event, right? And then I mean, which that's not even true. Before we even started the podcast, I won World Cup, so that was kind of like gave me some credibility, right?
There you go. Yeah.
But then when we started the podcast, it was like, all right, like, I have a baseline of where I'm at. Let's see how far I can push it. And that was one of the things where I am addicted to the grind. I'm addicted to the grind. And that's, I guess, if I'm being honest, one of my ways of outletting art, my own way. Remember how I was kind of like, I haven't figured out a way on how to convey it yet, portray it, build it. That's kind of my way, is the grind.
What I was trying to get at with the performance aspect, like I think you strike me as someone who has a way to show you have an art, and you landed on it right there, man. Like the grind, for sure. Like
I try to, and it's not only the grind, it's progress in not only the game but myself. I used to be a huge hothead that honestly you wouldn't want to be on my team because I was such a hothead. I was yelling all the time. I was an angry person. And like, if I'm being honest, dude, there were times, like, luckily I've come to closure with it, but there were times where I would get emotional about it, especially when I would talk about it on the podcast, where I'm like, dude, I don't know why I'm so angry. And then, just like with the podcast, setting that baseline of like sitting down with the boys, asking them, like, in my own way, it's like it's therapy, and they help me through every step of the way. Where
I love it.
Like,
man.
I mean, I try way more to like preach positivity now, but there was a time where I wasn't the most positive person ever, and with the podcast and the boys on DMG saved my life.
Yeah,
easily.
I mean, that's amazing. I love it. I think that's something that's kind of evident, is like I'm seeing like two sides of everything, like how are people so positive? And it's like, I'm sure there's some people who just are always the coolest, nicest people.
100%.
But I think a lot of people have like had to wrestle with themselves, like you were talking about, and just be like, I really don't like how I'm seeing myself right now, and I want to change it.
Absolutely. And like one way that I've kind of like tried to express that is you got to be a lighthouse for people, right? Where even when they're in the absolute complete darkness, show them a little bit of light.
There you go.
Show them a little bit of light, and be that, and be that light where when they go towards it and they get closer to it, they're like, oh man, like they're helping me out of my bad habits. They're helping me out of my darkness that's in my own head, and that's a huge thing that people need to have that a lot of people don't. Yeah. Especially in the world of paintball. Yeah, man. I mean, I was talking to someone today. I'm not gonna out them, but like, I was talking about Senator Booker just had his huge filibuster, and 25 hours. This dude's standing in the same place, speaking like his passion, really. And whether you agree with it or not, that's an impressive feat. Yeah. And it kind of delved into something else, and it was like, in the paintball community, a lot of people feel like there's this one side that's represented, and I'm like, yeah, like I get that, because we do have a persona that is predominantly one-sided, visibly, but big caveat here. In my experience, and I told them this, and I think he also knows this, but I was like, in my experience, most people are good. Oh yeah. And they want to be there for people, and they want to care for people. It's just, as of late, people have gotten louder about certain things that scares someone away who probably needs some of that caring, Can you tell me an example? Can you tell me an example of kind of that would be like, pushing people away? Give me like a paraphrase. It doesn't have to be the exact thing.
So this has nothing to do with the person I talked to. Okay. What's the gay community like in paintball?
Pretty slim, I'd say.
Male gay community. I wonder why.
I would say definitely because there are mannerisms that, without a doubt, are not very friendly. But I also think that is also just kind of, if I'm being honest, sports in general. Like, it's just like,
but like people saying like something's gay or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. It's hard for me because I make jokes. It's hard for me.
Yeah, that's not. I honestly, you know, I'm not gay, but I don't know that that's as much of a deterrent for the gay community as being associated with one side politically.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so I think that's a deterrent, you know, and it's, you know, whatever. Like, I made those jerseys for Hormesis.
Okay.
And one of them, it was, you know, I was trying to make them like sort of like the Tour de France jerseys.
Okay.
Where each jersey had a meaning, you know,
Yeah.
and I made one in the elite. It was for the duel.
Okay.
And so if you get an ace, that's when you like one ball.
Yeah,
First,
it's quick.
second of the game. Yeah. And so I made one jersey an ace leader where it had this like sort of minimalized paintball going across the thing, going across the chest, and it was a rainbow.
Okay.
Each ball was a different color. And, you know, yeah, I guess like you kind of only pay attention to the negative comments, but there were a few comments that were like, you lost me at the rainbow, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Some colors are gonna dictate
yeah.
Like, so it just like, and that's public. That was on the Hormesis's like thing that like someone commented on. So I'm one of those weirdos that reads the comments, and you know, if I'm seeing that, and if someone who's like likes paintball and wants to play paintball is like feeling that hate, it's like, guys, I mean, is it really like, if you feel that passionately about it, like, I'm not trying to like dictate. I definitely don't want to dictate like how you. Well, I don't know. We're on this tangent.
No. I see exactly what you're saying, right? I mean,
like,
I'm at the kind of guy where I love the underdog story. If I am any kind of underdog at anything, and people will hate on me, dude, because that I feed into it. I crave to prove those people wrong.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a little bit different. When people were like trying to like roast me in a way, I'm like, let me show you, buddy.
Yeah.
They could be roasting me any kind of way.
Yeah, and I like, I love that and I appreciate that. I guess to the, like, I know the paintball community, and I know they're a very loving community, and I just, like, is that visible from the outside, or is it still like this surf community where locals only, you know? I guess it's kind of what I'm getting at.
You know, I think the culture of paintball is very interesting, right? Because people want to keep it. People, they want to grow the sport, but they don't want it to get very corporate, right? Because the more corporate you go, the more PC you have to be, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're in a sport where you're shooting people in the head, that is one of those things that you can't really be PC in general about.
It's hard, yeah.
Like, no matter however you, like, there is no political correctness, you know? It's all for the fun of the game.
Yeah.
We're all competitors, and we all love the sport. We also all understand that we're shooting gelatinous balls at each other, that we're playing fake war.
It's comical when you describe
exactly.
what we're doing. Yeah.
Right? So it's like, how tough really are you?
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
It used to be, I never understood it, because I grew up Texas football. Like, I played football. I had tough buddies. And there was this weird dynamic when I got into paintball, like, guys trying to be tough and their little pipsqueaks compared to what I had to deal with.
I would say,
and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I really don't, like, it's almost like when a little brother loses their temper, you're like, what is going on here?
No, I agree. You know, there are some people in paintball where when it comes to team sports, they were obviously cut first round of, you know, tryouts in their 6th grade football team, and that obviously carried that. They're like, well, fuck this shit, I'm gonna bring it into paintball, and I'm gonna show how tough I am in paintball. It's like, that just makes you look so stupid.
Let's try to shoot some people. That's the main objective here.
Absolutely, 100%, right? And you don't get me wrong, I love shooting people in the head. I've tried to get better at it, like, not at shooting people in the head as much.
It's effective.
Absolutely, it's a mental statement you gotta send. So I do understand, right? It goes both ways. They do it to me. right? So
Yeah.
I do understand that, but you know, I think the whole thing is like with that jersey thing, whatever. You gotta not mind it. People are gonna be people with their own opinions. You just gotta move past it, right? I know for a fact that not everybody likes me, right?
That's a hard one to.
I guess, right? But I look at it in a way where I'm just like, people are not gonna like me. I'm gonna move past it.
Yeah, you can't. I mean,
I can't dwell on
part
people
of that.
hating me.
So part of the same conversation was I quoted my mom, who was an elementary art teacher.
Okay.
And she I remember her saying this is, you know, people as a whole are dumb. I'm just trying to change the world one idiot at a time.
Facts.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of what it is. I think both of us were like, yeah, if we could all just sort of focus on our people right around us, you know, like be the positive person for whoever you can be positive for. And that is kind of has a trickle down effect.
100%. I mean, that kind of reminds me of, I think it was like 2-3 years ago at World Cup where they posted a sign where it's like, hey, there's a kid walking around that is looking at you and wants to be just like you.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Sure, it may be sappy and it's on a little cardboard sign, but man, it got me.
We're all dads. Like, we're old men, most of us, you know? Not you, but...
I'm 27 now, bro. I'm reaching unk status. I don't know, dude.
There you go.
It's a Zoomer word.
But, yeah. But, like, yeah. Like, it's okay to be sappy. And it's okay to, like, care.
There's a reason why they're cliches sometimes. There's a reason why
Yeah.
they're... Because they work so good.
Yeah.
Right? And so that was one of those ones that really got to me where, you know... be aware of what's around you. You know, you do affect other people around you. So
Nice.
I guess mind what you say, but it's also right. I don't care. I say what I want. That's the way I look at it.
I think it's because you know yourself. Like, you know that you're a good dude. You know that, like, if you say something and someone takes offense to it, I have a feeling you would try to, like, have a conversation with whoever that was. In real life, you know, internet's...
Wait. Repeat that one more time. Repeat that one more time.
Like, if you said something or did something and it bothered someone...
Okay.
To a certain extent, you'd be like, I don't like that. Let me go have a conversation with that person.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Yeah.
Especially if... I mean, obviously it depends on how much you know that person, right? If obviously you said you don't like milk and a guy that likes milk is like, oh my God, I hate that guy. This isn't like... I'm not going to go change that guy's mind over some milk. You know, it's not worth my time. Right? But I see exactly what you're saying, and obviously, you know, it's I'm with you 100%. If I'm like, ooh, maybe I low-key sent a zinger over there and it kind of got him a little bit. Let me go over there and, you know, talk to him and maybe check on... I mean, this is going to sound weird, but let me go check on his emotions and see if I hurt him.
They're a thing. It's okay to check
Absolutely,
on them,
right?
It's not...
And it's weird for me because I'm a guy where I grew up very cold-hearted with my mother, right? I'm learning about my own emotions myself. I'm learning, right? So I'm not a perfect human being. There are people that are probably like, oh my God, F this Hatch guy, right? But I do understand. I'm learning myself. Not perfect. You guys got to remember, just like it's your guys' first time living, it's my first time living too.
That's a great... I love that.
Right? People do not understand that.
That's wisdom. Wisdom from Hatch. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's all of us.
Right?
Yeah, it's all our first time.
Whenever you see someone doing something that's like what you would think is cringe, put that in quotes, right? Thank God to the video for seeing that. But
yeah.
It's their first time living too. Let them do what they want.
Yeah.
Who cares?
For sure.
Right? Stick to your own stuff. Stay in your lane, I guess, in a way. That sounds bad.
I got stay in your lane.
That sounds bad.
Whatever.
Whenever you tell someone to stay in their lane, that no one ever takes it well.
It does have. That's
not what I meant.
Yeah.
I meant on the road, people.
Hatch will talk to each and every one of you individually.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Good thing for you. That's like 10 people, so you're set.
Hey, there we go. We're about it, you know? So, it's not too bad. 10 people.
Yeah. No, dude, these are, like, I love that people listen to it. I think that's so cool that anyone would want to listen to me specifically talk. Like, I think you guys are interesting. That's why I do this, is I just like, honestly, like talking to folks.
Absolutely.
I used to, like, so I'm a high school art teacher. And
that's cool.
For like 7 years, I also I worked at a coffee shop, and the coffee shop was my adult conversation stuff. Like, I could go and talk, and if I cussed, I didn't have to worry if I was gonna get fired or not, or whatever, you know. and it was refreshing, and like kind of, you know, got to a point where I didn't need to work at the coffee shop anymore, thank God. And now this is like kind of feeling it, like these are my adult conversations, you know, like I get to meet new people first off.
Yep.
Meet people that are in paintball that are also creators. I love that. And really just get to like learn something new about someone. Sometimes I know them, sometimes I don't. I like kind of like I knew you through Instagram, but this is, you know, I don't know, like at a tournament we wouldn't be able to have a hour-long conversation.
No, right? This is like
yeah.
These are the type of conversations I like, where it's like right after the tournament, you're back at the Airbnb, you're kind of like, you know, the event's over, now we talk.
Yeah,
this is where you're sitting outside, you know, smoking your cigars, doing your thing, and talking.
Yeah, and you get to hear some, like, people, like you said, they're vulnerable. Like that's when you learn the most about your team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I love
team chemistry is a thing that will make or break a team. You can tell when teams do not have good chemistry. Like, dude, you can visibly see it. It's almost as if there's a puppet master behind every team. And when they're not all coordinated, the strings just get tangled. But the perfect puppet master on a team has no problem controlling his players. Right? Just like, I guess the puppet master is the coach. He has no problem controlling their players because they know exactly how to trust each other. There's no strings that are going to get overlapped in judgment. So, I mean, that's just one way how I look at it. And, you know, getting those late night conversations with the boys, or, you know, I mean, without it, talking about getting vulnerable, that's where, you know, the tough conversations come out. You know, where you dive into someone's life, their personal life. Yeah.
And that's like, and then y'all are buddies. Like, then, you know, that's where it becomes the 2 a.m. phone call. And they're like, yeah, man, ride or die, let's go. You know, like, that's just, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I think that is the sort of the culture that's got to be like what builds the community of paintball, because not everyone's winning. You know, people say it all the time.
Oh, yeah,
only one team's gonna win. You know, so like you gotta get something out of it.
I agree.
Besides being upset that you didn't win, like you gotta.
And I try to convey something that, like, if you're ever on a team with me, it's different. We're not just teammates. We're not just friends. We're genuinely family. Maybe that's because I had a messed up family growing up, to where it's like I don't really know exactly. Maybe I'm trying to project and fill that void. But my paintball team, genuinely, that's like my most prized possession, is my paintball team and my boys, right? Because they have my back.
Hell yeah, man!
Like, if
I live. That's a statement.
I live 3 hours away from my team. Like, the nearest teammate lives 3 hours away from me.
Yeah.
And wow. But do they come down on the 4th of July? And do they come down when I'm throwing a 4th of July get together? And do they come down on New Year's and I'm throwing a New Year's get together? Absolutely, they are. If I need to move, I ever need to move, are they going to come help me? Yes, they are. If they ever need to move, am I going to go help them? Absolutely. It's just the things we do for each other. It's different on DMG, and it's different when you're on my team, because we take care of each other genuinely. Like, we on DMG will make the willing sacrifices to have each other's back.
I can't get over my paintball team is my prized possession. Like, I felt that, dude. That's a hell of a statement.
And I mean it to the fullest extent.
I believe it.
There's there is nothing in my possession that is in my room that I have that is worth more to me than my boys and my paintball team.
Gotcha, dude. I love it.
For sure. And it's just experience of the trauma of, you know, sometimes reffing together, you know, pod running and just doing the nitty gritty together. Stuff. You know, the type 2 fun. That's what I like to call it.
Yeah. Type 2 fun.
Type 2 fun. You know, where it may not be, you know, you might be getting shot a lot. It might be painful, but hey, at least you have the boys in the trenches with you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's why I'm just so grateful for my paintball team, because that's one of those where, you know, they have given me worldly advice that has saved my life what I mean by that one specifically, like even like look at like advice with girls, where I was like, all right, boys, you know, and they would give me judgment calls. They're like, all right, dude, this girl, bro, she is not for you. And like, there are times where genuinely, if my team says that, I'm like, bro, what does that say? If I'm too blind to see it, my boys see it. You know, sometimes you got to go with what, you know, they know you a lot more than what you think. Especially when you're on my team. They know a lot about me.
Dude.
Sorry, I am yapping like crazy.
No, dude. I'm processing. Sorry, I like to think about things.
I'm probably like Alvin the Chip. I'm probably like Alvin from Alvin the Chipmunks, just talking so fast.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
But yeah.
But you know, you're not talking fast. We're getting at we're at $1:15 right now.
Oh hell yeah.
How are you doing on time?
Bro, I'm all yours, bro. Don't even trip.
Okay. Sweet. In that case, no. Anything new? Any changes from the sideline coming up?
We've been working on some merch. We're working on some stuff behind the scenes. We're developing some. I'll leave it at that, merch.
Okay.
I don't want to reveal. Sweet. I don't want to reveal too much, but you know, I've also been I also got put in charge of a lot of the social media for DMG, and obviously, I'm trying to bring that back. I'm trying to. That's one of my big projects is I want to try to bring DMG back from what it once was.
I love it.
Right. I mean, it was a pro team with a camp that I was a part of the camp, where we had multiple divisions, right? And now it's a shell of what it once was, and
yeah, dude,
I'm not okay with that. I want to fix it.
I'm proud of you. I
appreciate that very much. It means a lot coming from you, seriously.
Well, I mean, let me give you some context. Like, I talked to Greenspan,
mm-hmm.
and I talked to Andy about this. Like, the fact that Greenspan puts the perspective on it for me. Like, Dynasty and Infamous, those are the two teams, and fit but in a different way. But those three teams seemingly make money from their from merch, from their Dynasty club, from things that they do to raise money.
Okay, yeah.
All these other teams have a backer of seeming. I think maybe, I don't know. Not all these. I'm speaking.
I see exactly what you're saying.
But Heat, Impact.
Dude, you don't gotta sugarcoat it, bro. Heat has Sarge. Impact has Bart.
Yeah, but there's a lot of teams have someone like that. ACT still's got Mark.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's fine. And it is money that they're graciously,
the fact that they're willing to put it into the game, sacrificing. Thank you for saying that word.
I love that, and I get that. In my mind, I'm like, why aren't they trying to make money off of it somehow? But that's not what they do it for, and that's fine. They're in a position that I will never understand. That a lot of us will never understand. I can just drop $1 million a year. I can burn $1 million a year, essentially. Cool. Good for you. And honest, sincerely, thank you for doing that. But also someone on the team, I feel should be taking some sort of responsibility to help build the brand of the team, not just in the winning, but also in hey, let's focus on some merch.
I like this.
Focus on our social media.
I agree.
I want to win too, and so I'm gonna train and I'm gonna do good.
Absolutely.
But
and you know what?
It's not much harder to train and in between matches or points go do something. Spend
I see it exactly
3 hours of your flight or whatever figuring out a strategy to help build the brand of your team so that more people want to buy Purple Goblin shirts.
Yep.
You know? So that's, it's encouraging and relieving to hear that there's someone out there doing that.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, I want to send the praises to where they definitely should be. So Houston Heat, it seems like ever since their rebuild and everything, they really have taking a new step towards their media, and I mean, I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna lie. The quality of their media has definitely changed. I'm not gonna say if it's worse or if it's better, but it's definitely changed, and I can tell.
All right.
Right. So, but let me tell you,
you were so PC.
I respect right. Exactly. And I'm gonna tell this because I respect it so much because I'm in the same boat. I am not a masterful editor. Right. Yeah. Shout out to Ryan. He knows that shit like the back of his hand, which I've been slacking and I need to learn. Right. That's all. There's always ways to learn. But they have Ronnie. He has been heading that ship for Houston Heat content. Hard.
Yeah.
And so now
has he though? Like, I mean, there's cool things, and you got to dig for it to be a Heat thing. For the most part, it's a Ronnie thing.
Valid. Completely
His
valid.
Stuff is cool. Like, I love Ronnie. He's doing something, you know. So sorry, I cut you off.
I think now I think now he is kind of leading in more of a leadership position on Heat, and he is kind of like, all right, guys, like we need to step up our game. Right, okay. And this is all hindsight. This is what my opinion is. I don't know. Okay. I think that a lot of those guys are putting in more of their own work personally to make sure like the social media of Heat is building, and I respect it because I'm doing it myself.
There you go.
So I understand.
And
I make memes. I make memes, boys. You know, I'm a chill guy. You know with the hands in the pockets. The chill guy. That's me.
Yeah. Nice.
So
hey. It's something.
Absolutely.
And I like if I'm not seeing it, then
but it's also
you're not. Then it's just not happening.
Absolutely.
Sorry, guys. Like it's kind of my content creation. Like I'm looking for pictures of players all the time so that I can like reference it for a future artwork. And I'm looking for these photographers that are like doing great things. And, you know, they do great stuff, but I don't ever see it from the team.
I think Ryan Moorhead just started a new podcast. No joke.
What?
Yeah.
Ryan Moorhead?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Pretty sure he started a new podcast. I'm like almost 100% sure. It's called
I love that guy.
Oh, man, I don't want to butcher it. The Rowdy Ones or something like that?
I feel like they got tons of stories. That dude's been pro since...
before I was born.
Yeah.
No joke, I think.
I mean, like, I don't know if he's that old, but...
I genuinely wonder when he started playing pro.
I mean...
when he started playing in general.
He was very young. I've seen some pictures with his bleached tips, and he was young.
Yeah, so, you know, that's a guy you got to get on here, Clint. You know, ask him. Ask him for me.
I'll ask him. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, so...
let me reach out to Ryan Moorhead. He's a nice guy. I've made a few paintings of him. He's a wild man. Like, he's got cool... when I'm looking at, like, people, I look for, like, cool body expressions. Because most of paintball is this.
Yeah.
You know, like, every now and then you get
the chicken wing.
But, yeah. But, like, him, like, because he's of a generation that moved on the field...
very unorthodox still, like movement for sure.
Yeah, but like it's still smooth too. Like he's got style.
Yeah, like and
I don't see that. You got it.
Nobody can hate on his style. He gets it done.
Yeah,
you cannot hate on that.
Heat actually, like you know, Monville he's got style in his movements and in real life. That dude.
Yeah,
he's cool, man. Yeah, you just look at him, and you're like,
everybody.
Cool,
no, everybody in the professional division, you have to have a style, right? Because at least for me, I feel like you can't really get there without it.
Yeah, well, I think it's just sort of like the 10,000 hour thing. Like you find these twerks that make you know, like Arturo, he's got style. Frazee, style.
Oozes style.
Yeah. Monville, Moorhead. I'll be honest.
Tyler Harmon's got style.
Yeah, he's a little unorthodox. He's like a Tony Hawk. If I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Like he's taller and he's like just kind of like but he's super super capable, but just this unorthodox body type for paintball. But he makes it work.
Absolutely.
And that was Birdman's thing the whole time, was like this giant is skateboarding, but he's finding a way to make his long limbs work. So
absolutely right. So I like what you said about style and everything, because I mean style is everything. Because I mean, at least for me, if you look, I heard this from my teammate Marv. It stuck with me ever since. If you look good, you feel good. You feel good,
absolutely.
You play good.
Hell yeah.
You play good, you win.
Yeah, dude.
So Marv taught me that, and I was like, damn, dude, let me tighten my headband. Let me make sure I don't got the gap of death. Making sure it's
you're good.
You know what I'm saying? The gap of death. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's why the beanie generation was a thing.
Yeah,
it hid the gap. You could still have a headband, but
the beanies too. I wear a clava, which makes me look like one of those guys that absolutely. I love the clava.
Yeah, dude. I love this how it looks.
The whole you want to hear the lore of why I started wearing it?
Thomas Kim.
Not even close. So the reason why is because we were playing. It was the 2023 Sacramento event, right? Where NXL did the regional events, right? And they went to Capital Edge, right? And obviously that's our home field advantage plus 10% stat boost, right?
There you go.
I remember the team that was scouting us. We were playing the semifinals, and the team if we win this match, we play in the finals. I can hear them talking, and they are like, the guy with the long hair, wherever he goes, is their push side.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, interesting. I immediately go over to my captain at the time, Papa Cedar, right? Chris Cedar. Shout out to him. Love that guy. I was like, Cedar, they know, like, they're talking about how wherever I'm at is the push side and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, he, no joke, diabolically rubs his hands together, hits a greedy goblin laugh, and he's like, all right, Hatch, I want you to go to the corner and not do anything and just hide. And then so we won that game where I would go to the Rito side, hide. They would think that's the push side, and we'd push the snake. We stack the snake. And then ever since then, I was like, if they're recognizing me by my hair, let me make that less of a factor.
There you go.
Right. I mean, all of us on DMG have mullets now, but I mean, me and my teammate Caden, everybody confuses us together now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've seen him. Yeah.
It's
that's dope. That's a good coach.
Absolutely.
Good coach.
Yeah.
He listened to his
Cedar
player.
Knew what's up with that.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's one of those things where it doesn't matter if you're if you're new or if you're an old head on the team. We genuinely care and will listen to any kind of input that you have, no matter if you're new. Right. One guy that just joined our team, Aaron Bruck. He was at the last event. He didn't play a single point, but dude, he was leading the charge when it came to keeping us on our stuff. He was like, you guys need to scout. You guys need to be watching every single point of every single match, right? And he was keeping us accountable, right? And that's what you want from your guy that's not playing.
Yeah, dude. Like, he's still part of the team.
Well, exactly,
and
right? Dude,
he's paying his dues.
I have had that. Thank you, paying your dues. I have been there. I've been the guy that's gone on the team and hasn't played a single point. I was that guy. I was the bench rider. I understand. Mm-hmm. So now I'm blessed enough to where, my skill to my coach shows that I deserve a starting spot. So I worked hard for that.
Nice, dude.
And
you're winning me over, dude.
Oh God,
you're winning me over. I'm a Goblin fan.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're gonna make this happen.
No, I'm down, dude. I am down.
Like, Goblin jersey. Y'all need to do a Goblin jersey.
So down, dude. I'm not in charge of that, bro. I'm not. They don't let.
Who's in charge? Who do I need to talk to?
Honestly, dude, if you really want to know, it's Dave Bain's sister Karen. She takes care of us. She's the manager of the team and owner of the field now. So talk to her about Purple Goblin.
Karen.
Yeah.
You created an amazing culture.
Yep.
I hope you're listening to this, because one of your outstanding players is winning someone over. So Karen,
it's funny.
Yeah.
Me and her have a very interesting relationship because she thinks that I'm a bad guy. She thinks I'm a bad guy.
Well, this is not, Karen, if you're listening, this is not Hatch's idea. This is a fan's idea.
I think this is a great idea.
Someone who's willing to spend money on this.
Take a risk.
Maybe.
Honestly, it doesn't seem risky to me.
The G should stand for goblins, and you guys need to embrace the mascot. Dynasty has a dragon. DMG could have the goblins.
What does Houston Heat have? What is their mascot? The temperature?
What are they? Yeah.
The thermometer is their mascot?
Are they still Houston Heat?
I think they're just Heat.
Yeah. I think they should embrace that. Because the only one that I guess Sarge and Ryan are out of Houston these days. I don't know.
It's hard for me.
Anyway.
I play on Sacramento DMG. I don't even live in Sacramento. I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud myself. I can't even hate too much.
Hey, no.
But I play in Sacramento. But I play in Sacramento. That's the difference.
Where are you based out of?
I live in. Okay, so you wouldn't really know it. I live in Clovis, but it's basically a place called. It's right next to a ghetto ass place called Fresno that most people know.
Hey, guess where this guy was born?
Fresno? No way, bro.
I guess technically Hanford.
Okay,
but
that's Fresno County. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is. It was. So the reason I know technically is because we moved to Texas when I was 3.
No way.
And I never I have no recollection of Fresno, but hey, that's where I'm from. I'm proud of that. I'm from California.
Let's go, baby.
You know?
I'm with you.
And
you converted me.
Yeah.
You converted me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And so I'm telling all my buddies, like, yeah, I'm from Fresno, California.
Damn, dude. Let
Fresno,
me tell you, that makes you look hard as fuck when you tell people.
They don't.
When you tell people you're from Fresno, they're like, oh, dude, do not mess with that guy.
Yeah, they don't know that, but they're just like, okay, cool, California. And then finally, when I'm 18, my dad's like, hey, maybe just say California, you know? Like,
he knows.
Maybe don't lead with the Fresno thing.
Yeah, he knows.
So, yeah, but right on.
I'm pretty sure Fresno is like the number 1 ugliest city in California.
Dude, it's in California.
Yeah.
I think there's a skater out of Fresno, like
okay.
fruit booter, but he's out of Fresno, and he's hard as, like, that dude is, he's this, like, Viking looking dude who does, like, pirouettes and stuff. Like,
what?
This, like,
sounds insane.
Crazy, super, like, intricate things on his skates. I'll send it to, like, next time I see it, I'll tag you in it or something.
Okay, definitely.
But, like, Derek Henderson, that's his name.
Derek Henderson.
The dude's like, jacked, but he does these things that you're like, a ballerina couldn't do that.
Damn,
like,
I gotta try to find this local legend.
Yeah, dude. I would only compliment this man.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Like, he's hard.
What's his name again?
Derek Henderson, I think.
Derek Henderson. I'm definitely gonna have to try to find this guy.
Yeah.
I think you're following him. Yep. This guy's from Fresno?
Pretty sure. I hope so, because I just talked him up.
I'm gonna find this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. What a sick guy. I like that.
Yeah, but, like, anytime there's, like, a Fresno shout out, like, I'm like, yeah, man.
That's my heritage right there, baby. Yep.
There it is. Yeah, my heritage.
Yep. Technically, I was born in Clovis, but I work in Fresno and I go to Fresno every day. So.
Okay. Sweet, man.
Close enough.
I am so bass-ackwards on my geography in California. Like, Fresno's central?
Like,
California?
dude, like dead center, basically.
North central, dead center? Okay. Yeah. So my dad was a sailor and a skier. He sailed Hobie Cats and would ski. And that was his pitch for Fresno. It's like,
close
it's
enough.
in between.
Yeah, literally.
You could see.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's valid, because you really are in between literally everything. Like, if
Yeah.
I wanted to go to LA, I could. Like, I have 4 hours to LA, right? Or if I wanted to go, like, watch the Sacramento Kings, 3 hours to watch the Sacramento Kings. Like, nothing, or 3 hours to the beach. Or if I want, I can go 3 hours to Monterey. You know, something. Literally anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, so not a bad location. Can't be too mad. Shout out Mama Hatch right there.
There it is.
Playing roots.
There it is. She knows.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's get into some of these questions, man. I want to see what comes about.
I'm ready.
So the first question.
Yep.
The Joy Paintball Classic question. What's the piece of art that stopped you in your tracks?
No, I got you. This one might sound dumb, because if I'm being honest, sometimes it's used in memes, but it really did speak to me. It's called Self-Portrait with Death Playing the Fiddle.
Yes.
Yeah, I assume you've heard that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So
it's a meme, or it's
it has been used in a meme, and I have used it in a meme before.
Okay.
Right.
So, Portrait with Death Playing the Fiddle. I'm familiar. I don't remember the artist, but I'm familiar. So sweet.
Right. So
what about that stopped you in your tracks?
Oh, dude, because the thing is, I interpret it so many different ways. Right? Is that, like, any kind of scenario you could possibly be in? Right? That guy, you are the guy that is alive. And then there's always going to be a voice telling you, do something else. do this, do that. Don't do this, do that, right?
I gotta look it up.
And right, the beauty in the art is he's playing a fiddle. That is one of the most beautiful instruments ever, and you can truly be mesmerized by music. Right? And he must be playing a sweet tune to make you go towards death, genuinely. So I like this painting a lot because I look at it as best way how I interpret it is the skeleton is my ego.
Okay.
Right, and I cannot let that overcome.
Yeah.
Right, I have
Dude.
to be I have to be a certain way, and I cannot let my ego get in the way of it.
Homie. Preach, man.
Right.
Like, this is the fact that you're like making that connection with this.
Yeah, without a doubt, and because it can be interpreted, it could even be like, hey, go to bed, but then the skeleton is like, stay up for 2 more hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right, even though you know it's not the good choice, even though you know you have to go do something early in the morning, the skeleton is constantly playing that beautiful fiddle. It's like, hey, stay up for 2 more hours. Do what's fun. Do what you want to do. Do not what's needed. So that
well done.
Yeah, that's one of those art pieces that gets me good for sure. I think about it every day.
And it's also a badass painter. That's Arnold Bachlin. I couldn't remember his name, but
gotcha, Arnold Bachlin.
Yeah, but nailed it, man. That's so cool that you have that connection with that. I love that you can tie that. How'd you stumble across it? So from meme culture, you
I don't think I saw it first meme culture. I think the first time I ever saw it was, I think I just saw it on Twitter, where I follow a lot of art pages on Twitter where they'll like post like paintings and with the name of it, and I'll be like, damn, that one is awesome. Right. Another one, I forgot what it's called, but it's of a Colosseum, and the gladiator is standing over his victim basically, and he's basically looking to, I don't know what his name, the owner of the games, for the thumbs up or thumbs down, right? And the guy's just like, boom, thumbs down, right? And so he's like getting ready to strike it just because this guy is telling him to.
Gosh.
Right? All for this entertainment, because it shows the whole crowd. Everybody's cheering for this guy's life to be ended right in front of everybody. All on a single thumbs up or a thumbs down, whether or not you live or not.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ever get in myself position where someone else is the thumb.
Yeah. Screw the thumb.
Screw the thumb.
Yeah. I love it.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, I use the thumb as an analogy with my own family, dude. My own family, like, I cut off a lot of contact with some of my family members because they love using the thumb to keep me down. They love to try to sweet talk their way into my life and somehow drop something on me to where, boom, I have to take care of something, or else the thumb comes down on me, right? And I'm not really a fan of that, right? Why do I want to surround myself with people that are like that?
Yeah.
Right. So I that's why creating an incredible support system is so important, right? Create your team. Doesn't even have to be paintball.
Yeah.
Create your team.
Get your goblins.
Straight up, brother. Straight up. I like that a lot. Gather your goblins.
There you go. Gather ye goblins.
Oh, dude,
here we go.
I'm gonna write that one down.
I will.
Gather ye goblins.
Work on the merch for that. maybe we just do a side hustle of like DMG adjacent.
I'm down,
merch.
dude. We'll work with somebody. I'll talk to my boys over at HK and see if we can get something going.
There you go.
So, yeah,
dude, gather ye goblins. But yeah, all right. Aaron Brocklin, self-portrait with death, playing the fiddle.
yeah. You know, it's a perfect name.
I love
for
this
it.
question. Everyone brings great things, dude.
What is okay? Backfire question back at you. Give me yours. What is your art piece that really stopped you in your tracks?
So I've said this before, and I try to change it every time so that I'm not repeating myself.
I want one that is true to your heart. The number one.
This is what I love about you, Hatch. Just coming in with the true to the heart. Here we go. This is one I haven't talked about. Georgia O'Keeffe, who's an artist I don't particularly care for.
All right, hold on.
But she made a painting of what's the name? It's the Taos Pueblo. No. I'm gonna mess this up. Already did. She made a painting of a mission in New Mexico, and this was my mother's like a painting that she really liked, an artist that she liked, and hang on real quick. This was during college. The first time I saw.
Yeah, you gotta send it to me.
Let me hang on. I just gotta find the name of it. Georgia O'Keeffe.
Absolutely, and I'm genuinely curious on yours because you are when if I'm being honest, when I think of art, I think of you for sure.
Hey,
when I think of the word art,
I mean, Riddle's art. That's the.
But not only that, but when I think of like the creations of it, right? Obviously, I have one of your creations like sitting up behind me, right? Yeah. So it's just, I mean, I don't really see, and also it's a thing where sometimes I see it more of like the way that Da Vinci is, with the paintings and stuff like that, and you are a guru with a brush.
Thanks, man. That was my my what do you call it? My Halo name was Guru.
Guru? No way.
Yeah, but I spelled it wrong.
Oh God.
GUR 0 O.
Oh
yeah.
That's not bad.
So it is Ranchos Church. Here, maybe I can do this.
Whoa. Interesting.
Yeah, it's not particularly my something that I like, but
that is very abstract.
For sure. That was O'Keeffe's style. She was one of the people pushing abstract, but the reason it stopped me in my tracks is I knew of it. My mom talked about it. She loved it. We went to that actual church mission and I saw that building in person with my mom before she passed.
Uh-huh.
And in college, I am studying art and all this, and I go to a museum and I walk and I turn around the corner, and the way the curator had set it up at that museum, there it was. Like I just turned the corner, boom, there's this painting from my life just right there. Wow. And I had to pause and acknowledge this is important to me. And it's I think that was the time that a piece of art stopped me in my tracks, for sure. It's kind of special when something can demand your attention in a way that's all encompassing, where everything else around you disappears and you're just sort of having a moment with that. So that would be a new one. I've talked about one before, and I want you to look at this one if you haven't already, but it's the Pietà by Michelangelo Buonarroti.
Oh, so, how do you spell that?
Pieta. It's Italian, so it has a
by Michelangelo. Here we go.
Tilde. Yeah. That was when I was 16. I saw that, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Is it a sculpture?
I saw that in person. Yeah, I saw that in person and was like, "This is
damn.
This is special."
Yeah. I love sculptures. The art and detail behind this.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite sculptures is, this one's gonna sound way more morbid, but it's of Perseus holding up the head of Medusa.
Okay.
That is one of my favorite ones, because she is known to be that was in that whole Clash of the Titans, she was supposed to be unkillable, a challenge that he's not even supposed to overcome. Do it in 4 days. And sure as shit he did it. That's a triumph that I want to see one day.
There you go.
So I love sculptures.
Perseus. There it is. Sculptures, yeah, it's super impressive. This
is insane.
There's a living human making things as cool as that. Maybe not as cool, but as skilled as that. His name's Jago.
Is this on Instagram?
Instagram. Yeah. And he does these incredible sculptures.
Jago? Artist.
J-A... Yeah.
I see. Holy shit, bro. Oh, my God. Damn, dude. It would take me a lifetime to make something like that.
Yeah,
Jesus
I see that
Christ.
stuff, and I'm like, this dude...
How long does it take
They
him
still...
to do
They
this?
take forever. I don't know.
And he does... I mean, looking at his Instagram, he has multiple sculptures that are insanely detailed.
Yeah. He's a master, for sure. Like... He's great.
I forgot what sculpture it was, but I think it was Michelangelo who made it. But there's a certain like hand position, right? That a woman has her hand in, right? And the only way, and it shows a muscle in her forearm, and the only way that muscle activates is by flexing the pinky. Huh. So it's like it's absolutely delicate detail. I don't know exactly which one it is, but
it would probably, if it's like marble.
I think so.
It'd probably be Michelangelo or Bernini. Yeah. Bernini was amazing. He's kind of... Michelangelo's more famous, but Bernini's... He's still very famous,
talented.
But not... Yeah. But he... for some reason, he did not get the same fame as Michelangelo. I think Michelangelo, like...
kind of stole the limelight.
Yeah, they weren't the same era necessarily, I don't think, but they were close. But also, like, Michelangelo, like, notoriously, like, argued and fought with the Pope when the Pope was, like, more than the Pope. So So Bernini was just kind of like a great sculptor who was kind of promiscuous.
Hell yeah, brother. Amen. But
all right,
that's a dope sculpture though.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, this is a great art session.
How do you say it? Pieta?
Pietà is how I say it. I don't ask an Italian.
So what is? I am Italian. It's so embarrassing for me to be honest.
No. So it's a common pose, but it is Mary holding Jesus after he's like after they pull him off the cross.
Gotcha.
So it occurs several times throughout art history.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because if you think about, like, the Catholic Church was the patron of art for a long time, especially in westernized art.
Yeah.
Like, they were the money. So if you're making art, you're making something for the church, and that's just, religious or not, that is such a powerful, beautiful, tragic moment in the story of Jesus that, like,
I've been to a castle that had some pretty crazy art, like detail, like paintings and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, like, I can understand why they chose to, like, a lot of people choose to make that specific scene.
For sure. I mean, especially when it's like, I mean, I assume that one ain't a $1.50 down, your local flea market to buy. That thing's probably a little hefty to, cost some coin.
Yeah, you're not, you're just not.
Like, how much does that even cost? Like, is that just priceless?
You can't, like, the country of Italy would revolt if, I think the Vatican owns it.
Oh no, I'm talking like, okay, say if you were to buy a sculpture that's like that.
Oh.
Say if you had another expert, another perfect sculptor.
Yeah, if you could pay someone to make a replica.
Of that. How much would that even cost?
Dude, I don't know. Like, the quarry, like, that thing is, Mary, if you look at it, Mary's seemingly taller than Jesus in that. So
interesting.
She's like 7 feet tall if she were to stand up.
Damn.
So it's huge.
Damn. Big mommy Mary.
So I don't even know how much just a chunk of marble that would facilitate that sculpture. I don't even know what that would cost.
And it's just so insane, like the detail, because it makes it look like the clothes are, like wrinkled, but that's not. Yeah. That's marble.
Look at his forearms, and his like, when I saw it, I could see
the veins in his fingers.
Yeah, dude. And it's all like, I just don't. It was so cool to see.
Wow, that's beautiful. I went to Hearst Castle, and they had some insane art.
Yeah,
like
castles are pretty dope.
I forgot the guy that owned it. Obviously, William. I think it's William Randolph Hearst. I think that was it. I remember we took a tour and there was some lore to it.
Where is it?
It's in. It's like right. It's like south of San Francisco. I'm pretty sure, like right south of San Francisco, but still in the Bay Area. And
Okay.
I remember I went with my girlfriend and it was pouring rain, and you have to basically go to the bottom of this mountain and they drive you up this mountain on a bus. And it was raining. You couldn't see anything, but when you got up there, right, I felt like I could do a different appreciation because I couldn't really see all of it because it's raining, but like I could see the finer detail when I went inside, and there was like Persian rugs that are worth more than my entire family's bloodline. There are like some books that are older than my entire family's bloodline, right? It's insane, right?
Yeah.
And just the art that they had of like paintings of the family was just insane. Because they would buy art from, I think whenever countries after the World War II or after World War I went bankrupt and they would sell their art, he would just buy a ton. Man. And he would just like he would have his wife be like a Picasso that would be like, all right, put this painting on the ceiling. It's insane.
That's cool.
So interesting.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Okay.
Hell yeah.
So let's move into an artist that you think we need to know.
Honestly, so I kind of brought him up earlier, spoiler alert, but this is one from me personally, but Robert Hillis, Mr. Hillis. He's the guy where like
Mr. Hillis, of course.
He knows so. I'm a very respectful man. When you talk to a woman's father, you have to call him Mr. If you don't, what kind of man, what kind of gentleman are you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a weird line when you get to the like first name basis.
Hey, Robert. It just feels weird to me. It just feels
especially
weird.
if you're at girlfriend boyfriend status.
Right, it's just,
once there's a kid involved,
oh god,
then you
kids
throw out first names. Yeah,
that's scary in itself.
Yeah,
but
all right.
Yeah, he is
Mr. Hillis.
Yeah, he is a genuine artist. Like the things he makes, he can make a like. Imagine something that you would find at the store that's like made by a machine. Yeah. Obviously, he can make it even more perfect.
And this is woodworking?
Yeah.
Or just
like
anything?
I've seen him turn logs, like full logs, into an entire table.
Hell yeah.
The man is insane in like single pieces, not where he's gluing things together, where he has a log that's 7 feet thick and is turning something into it, one whole piece.
Holy
and
smokes.
like he'll do things where he loves to. He's an experimenter. He loves experimenting. So I mean, pretty dangerous. He's like a MacGyver as well. So he took apart a microwave and put like a conductor to where he would put one charge on one end, one charge on the other, and the electrical current would just shoot through whatever he's doing, and it would just make this lightning effect all the way through. Okay. That was just so beautiful. It's awesome.
Whoa.
So
okay.
I'm gonna go see him in the next couple of days. I'll send you some pictures.
Yeah, do that.
Absolutely. I'll get your number after this. I'll FaceTime you. No joke.
There you go. Yeah. So I throw images up of everything we're talking about, especially with the art. So I definitely want to like show Mr. Hillis's work.
Definitely. I'll text him right now and say, hey, can you send me some stuff? I'm texting him right now just for you.
I love it.
But yeah, he's one of those guys where I think one of his. could proudly say that I'm one of his art pieces that he had.
Yeah, man.
He without a doubt he put work into it.
For sure.
Right? I was an angry person, and he is not an angry person, and he Mr. Miyagi'd me into being a respectable human being. If I'm being honest, right? I owe a lot of my success to him, easily, and
dude,
it's not even close.
I hope he listens to this. That's amazing.
Absolutely, man. Right? And
yeah.
Dude, let me tell you. So he's had some health problems where, no joke. I'm not trying to like vent out anything, but he's an older man, right? Older than I am, right? Enough to be a father figure, right? Where I mean, he bounced back from something that humans do not bounce back from. To where he couldn't walk, and now he can walk. He can run. I'm not even messing with you. He is literally like a person that I strive to be like every single day.
Hell yeah.
He's one of those people where I wake up and I'm like, all right, how can I be like that guy?
Have you told him?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And you know,
good on
dude,
you.
It
man.
was.
That's
I mean,
good. Yeah.
we're a big enough family to where when his father passed, I was invited to the military funeral. When his father passed, so now that's one of those things where I held near and dear to my heart, and I was as respectful as I possibly could have.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, when you're that close to people, it's a different story that's being told.
Yeah, dude. That's touching, man. I love it. Like,
thank you.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear that you got that in your life. You know, Mr. Hillis.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where genuinely, he is a genius at crafting.
Can't wait to see it, dude.
You remind me very much of him when it comes to the craft and the dedication to your craft.
Oh, that
right, especially when it comes to
high regard
experimenting. Yeah. Right, I mean, I've seen so many different styles of art that you've had, and I assume that none of them have been easy. A lot of them, some of them have probably been like, if I make something like this, are people gonna like it? I assume you probably think that in your head, because I think that when I just make an Instagram post.
Yeah, yeah. There's some stuff where it's like, you know, like this one over here. It was for LaSoya, or like his special poster.
That's
and
sick.
It was like, so that's his alias, like in the background. And
okay.
I can't make this without his alias in there. Like, he's one of the few players who has, name another marker that has milling specific to them, that has their name attached.
You know,
to
I don't
it.
think that there's like milling, but there's signature series, and that's the next closest. That's the next closest thing.
Yeah, but like this is
like
the alias, the LaSoya alias
gotcha.
was like you got that, and you got the LaSoya colorway, you got the LaSoya, like it was his name attached to it. He sold, like he made money from the sales of those guns, from my understanding, and it was like, you gotta, you know, like it's almost as iconic as his ponytail.
Yeah.
Like, so you know, everything else, there's not really like stuff. Sorry, I'm like leaning, trying to see. Like, there's not stuff that's like, they don't have material things that are like attached to their name, whereas he has that, and I was like, I can't not include this. And whether they like it or not, like I at least know that I'm like being true to LaSoya with this one.
Valid.
So, anyway, yeah. Sorry, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I do where I'm like, I don't know that everyone's gonna get this, and sometimes I care, and sometimes I don't. But
depends on honestly. Sometimes the day, you know, if you're whether or not you wake up and you're like, all right, I feel great today, or like or you wake up, you're like, today's kind of you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's also like the customer, you know, like if the Hormesis guys are like, are they gonna like this? I don't know. You know, when you get that seal of approval from them,
it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? We talked about it before, right? It's all in the eye of the beholder, but it's also, I mean, how many times, I mean, in school where they're like, oh, how is the author, what lesson is the author trying to convey? How the hell do we know? They wrote it. They might have a completely different method behind their madness, you know. So it's like, sure, we can go with the most mainstream of what they think is, but it's like, I like to dive deeper than just the surface level.
Sure. Yeah, dude, that's how you get to know like the people. The like, you get to know something. If we dive into your interpretation of such and such and The Great Gatsby, you know, like I get to see how you look at something versus, and you get to see how I look at something, and we kind of get to know each other through that.
100%, right? I forgot what it's like. Perception is perspective, or something like that. Something like that. I heard that in a rap song.
Okay, there you go.
So you know, I'm kind of cultured-ish.
There you
the
go.
New generation. Yeah. I listen to the hip hops.
Yeah. Is cultured now the new word for urban? Like, He's
Yeah, I mean, dude, lingo changes so much every day. Like, that is an art form in itself. And I'm just like, that's a changing art form that I just cannot keep up with, you know?
For sure.
Obviously, you know, sometimes I'm on a goobery podcast, so I gotta understand a little bit of it, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
overall, I'm not that quick with it.
Gotta keep up with Ryan, dude. He's like...
No, Ryan sometimes got to keep up with me. Sometimes Ryan's got to keep
okay.
up with me because, like, one thing that he calls me now is the enigma. You know, my mind is the enigma, right? That is just
there you go.
No, misunderstood that, and some people never will understand. You know,
it's not for everyone,
right? And it's a mindset that everybody should have. Nobody should be able to truly understand you unless you're telling them what to understand.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Maybe I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm just weird.
All right. Before we go on to the next question,
yep.
I remember early on you wanted to give a shout out, or you were going to talk about someone from Austin, Oni.
Yes. Let me tell you. All right. So Anthony Hernandez from Oni, he is the owner behind it.
Okay.
Right? And so, I met him through. It's been so long. It's kind of hazy now, but I met him through Ryan, and
okay.
I don't know if you know a guy named Lastro Lopez, Scott.
Yep.
Right? Love that guy to death.
I love that dude. So I went out to fit at one of their XTPL events, and I made a painting of Sarah and JD. And I was going to give it to them anyways, and I was like, hey, can I set up a booth and try to sell some art or whatever? And Lastro's like one of the few dudes that like came up. We chatted. He's like a great dude.
He's a great guy.
And he bought a print similar to the one you have, and he also bought one of my son's drawings, and was like just so cool about it. Like he just seems like a good dude.
Absolutely. And, you know, he like the Oni is not just a team, that's a lifestyle.
Yeah. And
it was one of those things where ever since they kind of they brought me in relatively recently, but I've always been a huge supporter, and obviously I had an Austin Oni jersey behind me. I have like an Oni flag, and they've been nothing but absolutely fantastic with me. So shout out to those guys. Those guys gave me a real opportunity to test my knowledge and my teaching skills for their team. You know, I must be right.
Yeah, man.
They flew me out there to take the reins, and they trusted me to turn.
That's pressure, dude.
Exactly, turn the entire team into, you know, what I mean, I wouldn't say they were goobers, but they were unorganized. They were. It was like arrows just deflecting off of each other, right? To where now we just need to straighten the arrows out. Everybody needs to know what to do, and do the little things of talking in between, and it's so easy to win, right? And teaching that lesson. I mean, the most recent USXBL, right? They made Sunday, and man, let me tell you, they should have won. They should have won their first match on Sunday, but literally they threw. But that is a great group of guys that reminds me so much of DMG. At least the way I was brought up in a way of DMG where I wasn't in control. I never really have been in control of DMG, right? With Oni, they have complete control. So they can say, they can do, they can make whatever they want. And I've always respected that. And they've asked me for my creative perspective, and I've always given it to them, right? And always been truthful. So Anthony Hernandez, I owe that guy a ton. He's one of the reasons why I'm even associated with as much as I am in paintball. He is one of those pipelines that really brought me into meeting a lot of people. So I'm incredibly lucky, for sure. Right? I mean, like one of them, I think he was a sales rep at Maxed, right? And I didn't know him, but he stopped me at the first event. He's like, dude, do you coach Oni? And I'm like, oh, like I ran a clinic over there, yeah. And he goes, oh, dude, like I'm their sales rep, and it's nice to meet you. And finally, like into I got to meet a guy that's in the business of paintball.
Nice,
right? So it's fantastic. Oh, I got Mr.
Nice.
Hill spamming me with photos. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Oh yeah.
What a
Oh
champ.
yeah, these are sick.
Robert Hillis.
Yeah, he's a
win.
G.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna send you these as soon as we're done.
Hell yeah.
These are sick. But yeah. Anyway, what was the question? I'm sorry.
I don't know. There was a question. It was just a.
Oh yeah, with the shot with Anthony Hernandez.
Shout out to
and another one specifically with Oni is Tanner 2-ton. He is a guy where he's had my back.
Yeah.
Tanner
2-ton.
Yeah, we call him 2-ton. Munson.
Okay.
His last name's Munson.
But, Tanner Munson.
He is an absolute unit of a human being. He is a stand-up guy that if you're he remind I wouldn't say he reminds me of myself, but he is the perfected version that I look at. Not perfected is a strong word, but he is a version that I look for when it comes to the support that I want to give other people.
All right.
Without a doubt.
Damn.
He is
all right.
Right.
High praise.
He opened up his house to me. You know, he's like, here, I show up, this entire house is yours, basically, right? And it was just a fantastic opportunity for me to learn a ton about myself and refine some skills that I never knew I had.
Wow. All right.
So I'm very grateful for the Oni organization.
Hatch, you got some great folks in your life, man.
I am incredibly lucky for the support system that I've built.
Dude.
Incredibly lucky.
I don't think it's a coincidence either.
I don't think so either because
I hope you know that.
I don't
like. I think it's
tolerate.
I think it's a
bullshit.
lot of, yeah. Like I think it's a lot of you. Like you invite these folks, not intentionally, but are I don't know how to say this. Not your vibes. Gonna be like you invite this sort of like people who are just good folks, dude.
It's a double-edged sword. And the reason why I say that is because people who, like, okay, say if you're on the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't work hard and you're slacking off, you're going to hear it. That's what makes people not like me, is when people slack off. And, because, dude, to be on my team, everybody on my team, they strive for greatness, right? That's obviously what all of us are going for,
you want to
right?
Succeed.
Dedication, that's what DMG literally stands for. Dedication makes greatness. And people who are just kind of in it, I've seen hundreds of people try to fill the shoes, but of just having the name of the front of their jersey. I've seen it. I've lived it.
Are you sure it's not Dirty Mountain Goblins?
I love Dirty Mountain Goblins.
I feel like that's what DMG actually
it stands for Dave Makes Guac. Because Dave makes insane guacamole.
Really?
Yeah, he does. So.
I cut you off, dude. I'm sorry
for
good. Taking the low hanging fruit.
No, not at all.
I do get that. Believe me, as a teacher, I know that like sometimes you got to drop the hammer and people don't like it, and it is a double-edged sword where you're like, hey, we were cool like last project when you were doing great stuff, but now we're doing this one thing and you want to be on your phone, and I'm like, hey, we got a deadline.
Yeah.
You know, like, so like I get that. But you gotta. The more, like, the older I get, it's like, and it sounds like you've discovered it at a much younger age than I have. It's like, hey, if we all want to like enjoy the fruits of our labor, like we gotta cut the bullshit. Like,
absolutely. And sometimes that comes with type 2 fun, right? Where it's like you're kind of like going through the hard times together, you know? And that's a thing that will really mold you and connect with people when you're kind of going through some bad times together. As long as you make it through unscathed in a way. Or even if you're completely torn apart, as long as you're able to come back from it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one guy this is a special one for me. Paul Stollard. He's the guy, my very first personal sponsor I've ever had, Skull Headwear. Like, he's the first one that's ever, like, actually, I remember the very first Skull headband I ever got, my mom bought it for me. And he makes those by hand. Nice. My mom bought it for me for my birthday. And, dude, it is a shell of what it once looked like. It was a sick digital camo, but dude, I wore it to where the sun truly had its way with it. You can't even tell the painting that was on the canvas anymore. It's been in the sun so much, right? And that's why I love it so much. And you know, he's given me plenty of headbands.
You've made it your own art.
Absolutely, right? And that's one thing that I love about Skull Headwear is that is one way that art and headbands. That's a way that art is in paintball, because no company can ever be like, hey, you have to wear our headbands. No, shut up. That is one of those ways of paintball that players get to truly express themselves.
Yeah.
One of the very few ways. Because obviously, like, I'm sponsored by HK, right? I'm wearing SLR. I mean, I would choose to anyway. Like, HK, that is a great company that cares about the players, right? Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they've had my back, and they've really helped me about my player development, right? They give me the tools to perform. So that, I mean,
they're right on.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're good, dude. What do you? No bad.
But yeah,
you're good, man.
But Paul, he has this one thing where it truly was beautiful. I talked about it on the podcast, but I'm gonna talk about it here because it was so good. You know, there was a time at the last event where we're kind of pooping on this team a little bit, right? And we're kind of at the buzzer, and I'm about to go put the mercy rule on the board, right? We're up 4-0, and I'm about to hit the thing, and then I hear Paul Stollard. He's like, hold on, don't hang it yet. And he brings it over. He like calls us in. And because the thing is, we should not have won this point. It was we lose 2 off the break. Me, Brando, Paul, we somehow pull off a 3-on-5. We should not have won. And he pulls me in. He goes, look around us right now, everybody. Like, and it was just us 3 out there. He's like, look around. The ref, I know the ref was feeling good because he heard it. Like, look around us right now. This could all disappear in a moment. Be where your feet are. Yeah. Right here, right now.
Oh, I got goosebumps. I heard you talk about it. I listened to that episode. Like
without a doubt, and that gets tears behind my eyes because the emotion that paintball has brought out of me is like something that I've never ever felt, ever in my life. Like I've been an athlete my whole life. I played water polo, right? I was a swimmer, bro. Paintball is just so different, so different. The people you meet.
It's this weird like team aspect of martial arts.
Yeah.
Like you go through you are personally challenged and cumulatively challenged as a team. Like I feel that. I haven't quite figured out how to put it into words, but I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, for me, obviously it's fake war, right? But I look at it sometimes I look at it as like the gladiator pit, you know? We are put into an arena, our 5 versus theirs. Mhm. Right, but the thing is, the difference is we are the ones who get to decide whether the thumb is pointed up or down. We control our own destiny.
There you go.
Absolutely. That's why I love paintball so much. I never knew. This podcast is bringing out a ton out of me, dude. I'm telling you.
Hey, man.
I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I feel like you were just like ready to go, man.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
You know, let me tell you, this interaction right here was long overdue. Way long overdue.
Like I'm bummed. Originally, anyone who's listening, it was supposed to be the whole FTS guys, but Brandon and Ryan bailed.
Hey,
so,
yeah, without a doubt. The thing is, right now,
I'm joking. They had obligations.
Yeah. I'll tell you what Brando is right now. No joke. He's probably fully deep into a person right now, surgically,
because he's
he's probably no joke replacing an entire hip right now.
Gosh.
So
okay,
he's working.
Ryan got his new job.
Yeah, Ryan got his new job, so it's pretty crazy. I'm a little mundane. I have my own little life that I'm trying to strive for greatness in. But you know, I'm trying to make bigger pieces move. But we're learning.
Hey, keep striving for greatness. But every now and then, step back, look at the big picture. Like you've got it, man.
Absolutely, just like what Paul said. I have to be where my feet are.
There you go.
Just look around.
There you go. Freaking Paul. I like. That's goosebumps both times. So when he told it just now, and then when he told it on the FTS, like
that's one guy genuinely you should have on because he's a teacher himself. And I mean, I probably just doxed him right now. But he has taught me so many lessons, and he's one of those people where he's changed me for the better, right? He turned me into he turned me from a guy who was an asshole that yells all the time into a person that's like he's like, hey, why don't you go before you yell at that person? Why don't you think about what you're gonna go say? It's like, damn, reeling me back in.
Yeah.
You know, he's got that's a teammate who
I
truly
love it.
has my back. And that's one thing that I'm not going to harp on anything too much. Is they say worry about yourself. Like, don't worry about what your other teammate's job is, dude. Your job is to worry about your teammate. Like 10% of your job is to make sure he's not snapped into tunnel vision and locked in. You know, where it's like you're supposed to get him out of that shell shock. That's your job as a teammate as well.
Well said, sir. Speaking of well said things, hey, you like that?
Yep.
Here we go.
Yep.
So, what is the best advice that has been given to you?
Oh man. Okay, so I was thinking about this, and this is some advice that Dave Baines gave me, and this one stuck with me very, very wholeheartedly, right? And you know, you interpret this however you want. If you were me, imagine the way you would feel hearing this, right?
Okay.
After practice, not even after practice, during practice, pulls you outside the net, and he goes, "Hatch, you are nowhere near as good as you think you are." And dude, that shit stunned me.
Whoa.
Because I felt like I was having a great day. And I was like, damn, I'm not as good. I'm not as good as I think I am. Right? So at that moment, I was like, okay, like now it's time to go back to the drawing board and push the limits in a totally different way. Right? Because if someone that is that renowned as Dave Baines is coming over and telling me that I am nowhere near as good as I think I am, right? Imagine how you're gonna feel playing for that rest of that day.
Yeah.
Right? And he pulled me aside where none of my other teammates could hear. So I'm just kind of like sulking in that, and like I have a 3-hour drive home, right?
Yeah.
Like I call it on the podcast, I call it the athlete's car ride or the athlete's plane ride. The plane rides are way worse, where you can't go anywhere. At least in a car, you can pull over to kind of like take some breaths. I didn't stop. I drove the entire way home in complete silence. I will never forget that day because that was a whole restructure for me.
Wow.
It humbled me for sure because I felt like I was having a good practice, and then ever since then, I was still in D3 at that point. I think that was like right as the pro team is getting relegated. And that was when I would probably say that was like the downfall of like the organization. Was when the pro team got relegated, and then they were like all those guys quit, and now all of a sudden it's like, all right, you guys are the guys that are going to step up in those shoes, which were huge shoes to fill. So, yeah, sorry.
Interesting. So did you take it as like him trying to?
He was pushing me, right? And another Dave Baines quote.
Like, was it loving, or was it like,
you
go find somewhere else?
Right, so here we go. Here we go. Another Dave Baines quote, right?
Okay.
He said, "Listen to what I'm saying, not how I'm saying it."
All right.
Right, and obviously he had a very mundane look, but he's pulled me aside and he's been like, "Hatch, you could be so good. You just need to do this. Hatch, you're so good. Focus on this." Right, and he'll hype me up, but that point, right, is because I think he said that because I was genuinely being an asshole and I was not being the guy that needs to be there for my team. I think he saw the beast of my past like rear its ugly head again in a way. Okay, and he was like, okay, I see the monster trying to come out of the box. Let me slam that box closed, lock it. Him saying that, lock the box.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, talk about a freaking brain check. Like,
without a doubt. And that checked me right up because it's like, I'm like, damn, right? And I recently told my teammate Cedar about it, and he goes, damn, he said that. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, that one got me good.
Yeah.
To where
that's
right. Whenever we have practices with Impact and Dave's out there, right? Obviously, like I have something that I have to prove. But it's something to prove to myself, not for him. I have things to prove, not people to impress.
I like that. Things to prove, not people to impress.
Right. Like I'm on a podcast that would make great entertaining content. But in the end of the day, it's not like that's going to make me get peace when I put my head on my pillow.
Yeah.
What's going to give me peace is the fact that I know I'm working the hardest, especially on the paintball field.
Dude, that's gold, man. Like, that's challenging.
It's incredibly challenging because, like,
it's interesting that that's like what you take, because it's not advice initially. It's just a comment. It's an observation.
Yeah, and it stuck with me so well to where it's like.
But like, you took it as like a challenge, and it turned into like advice, or maybe even just his whole approach to how he pushed you is the advice.
100%.
Like,
and
hey, man, like, you're not like, your shit stinks like the rest of ours. Like, like.
Absolutely, and it really sunk in because after every time I win a point or I do good on a point, I'm just like, all right, I'm not as good as I think I am. Keep going.
All right.
Right? Even if I feel like, if I think I'm hot shit right there, I'm not anywhere near as good as I think I am.
This is like, because I resonate with Paul Stollard.
Yeah.
And his whole persona that I've gleaned from you is like this guy who's like, hey man, we're shooting gelatin at each other, like, let's just, like, we all enjoy this, we're having fun, let's all soak this moment in.
Absolutely, like, right, like, and
then you have the complete juxtaposition of, hey, you're not as good as you think you are. Like, I guess you have like a very balanced like upbringing, but like just balanced by the extremes. Man,
I mean, the important thing is to surround yourself with people that will push you.
Yeah,
comfortability,
but you got people
rewards
pushing you.
Mediocrity.
Yep.
When you get comfortable, you will become mediocre. And that was one thing where with my old team, right, where I was like, dude, like, I want to play pro. And they were like, all right. I was like, all right, DMG tryouts. This is in 2018, right? DMG just wins their pro spot. I'm like, holy shit. Like, I think I want to take that next step and, start driving 3 hours every weekend for practice. And my teammates on that team were like, dude, do it. You can be the guy that got away.
Yeah.
That's going to chase, the dream of becoming a pro. Right. And everybody has their own different perceptions of what is pro to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Some people are professionals. Some people are just playing pro paintball. There's a difference.
Yeah.
I want to be a real professional.
All right. Dang, man. Dropping some bombs here.
No, I'm sorry. I'm way too serious for what I am, for what I actually am.
No, this is great. I love it.
I apologize, bro, but also I don't apologize because at least you're getting this out of me to where I never really talked about it. Different type of therapy, so I appreciate it so much. Seriously, you're the man.
Nah, dude, just trying to keep up with you guys. All right, man. Well, I mean, we've gone the distance. We're at 2:20 right now.
Oh yeah.
And I've enjoyed every bit of it, dude. Thank you so much.
Dude, thank you for having me. Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny. I think people think that I'm gonna say horrible things to where that might be why they might not have me on their podcast. Because I am not the most politically correct person, and I say some bad things. Do not get me wrong. Right?
Yeah.
But
you guys.
And it's just funny. I just have
Brando's the one that'll say some stuff.
Yes, that's a fact.
He's the one.
That's a fact. But it's just funny. Like, but there's this whole persona around me when people first meet me that I'm just like this asshole. Like this, the outsider perspective is that I'm an asshole until you meet me. And I try to be relatively cool with everybody,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had the pleasure of meeting you, so that helps. But also, like, no, you guys are cool.
I appreciate that, brother. Seriously.
Yeah, everything about this, I appreciate it. So I'm just gonna kind of wrap it up. This is sadly, you're the second person I've only done. This will be my 18th 19th episode. You're the second person that I've asked this, which is bonkers when you hear the question. But
was the first one Joe Barrett? I saw he had the next longest episode.
He had the longest episode. I think we broke it with this one.
No way.
Ollie went pretty long, but not quite this one. Yeah, Joe was a fun one for sure.
I love Joe Barrett.
Have y'all had him on?
Yeah, it's actually funny. I actually just April Fool's the shit out of Joe Barrett.
Oh yeah.
Because that post where I thought I was leaving DMG and then like joining Oni, he commented on it and is like, I think that is a horrible idea, jumping from D5 to semi-pro and blah blah blah. Like it's like Steven's a great player, but like I totally think that's not a good idea. Maybe we should consult the whole team. And then someone is like, hey, check the date. And then he's like, yeah, so? And then put another comment. And then this morning he's like, oh shit, April Fools. So it was pretty funny. We got him very good. He played it off very well. Shout out to Joe Barrett.
Yeah, that dude's a champ.
Absolutely.
I love talking to him.
He's a huge mentor of mine. He used to be on DMG.
Yeah.
He came from Tampa Bay Damage, and we coached our D3 team for a little bit. And without a doubt, nothing but props to him. He deserves all the success that he's getting.
For sure. But I don't want to. I've talked to Joe Barrett. I've talked to him for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've talked to you for a long time.
Yeah.
Also, but both very good conversations. But my question for you is, Stephen Hatch.
Okay.
Steve-O Hatch.
Yep.
What is the joy of paintball?
Dude, the joy of paintball, man. You know, it's crazy because I don't know. I might have sent you the picture, but this is what gets me fucked up emotionally for sure. Because this past year, I had to take care of my grandparents full time. They have dementia, and it's bad. And my grandma had a crazy kidney stone where she was bedridden, and I had to take care of her. And that with a UTI on top of dementia, on top of everything, right? She was a completely different person, right?
Yeah.
But there was a time when I brought over the joy of paintball, that pamphlet you sent me, and I was showing her that, and I was showing her the QR codes, and she thought I was a goddamn magician, pulling up these things. I'm like, look at this art, boom, pulling it up on my phone, like right then and there. She was like, what the hell? And so I got a picture. I had my girlfriend take a picture of me with the joy of paintball next to my grandma, and you know that the joy of paintball is, in the grand scheme of things, I'm a nobody, but the joy of paintball is that I get to go tell my grandma that she thinks I'm somebody, and her memory is resetting every 15 seconds, and she is asking me again, right? Like, what am I? You know, and I'm like, I tell her exactly like what I'm doing with paintball, and the joy of paintball is never getting tired of talking about it, always being around the game, always surrounding yourself with people that also love the game of paintball, right? The joy is being around it, right? Sometimes when people, I'm a fanny pack guy. I'm a nerdy guy. I wear a fanny pack. I wear my Crocs, right? People are like, DMG, what's that? I'm like, rub my hands together. I'm like, let me buckle you in for a wild ride. Let me tell you about paintball here, right? And they go, pinball? I'm like, no, paintball, right? And the joy of paintball is just the fact that I can never get tired of being around it. Like when I fly home after an event, I'm sad because I'm away from my paintball. I wouldn't say it's an addiction. It is a necessity to have that. Some people go their entire life without ever finding it. They are living their bullshit dead end jobs, and on the weekends they're doing nothing but sitting in front of the TV watching brain rot because they've never had something like paintball with the community. The paintball, it has saved me to where if I needed to move to Florida out of nowhere, I know enough paintball people to where they could help me land on my feet. The joy of paintball is the community. And they said a quote very recently where it's community, not competition. That's the joy of paintball. You don't hear that in any other sport.
There you have it, guys. That I'm speechless.
Yeah, like
That's amazing, dude.
With my grandma, I know I kind of got on like a tangent with that one, but
no, dude, no, dude.
When I would
no tangent at all.
When
it all
I would
like checked
put
out
YouTube on the TV and show her the podcast, she would freak the hell out, making me feel like I'm somebody. She'd lean over to my grandpa, who also basically has dementia, and she's like, John, Steven's on the TV, and I'm like, she thinks I'm famous, and I'm just like, Mom, I get maybe 80 views on a goddamn episode. Relax, you know. But
no, man,
I never get tired of talking about paintball, and
that's, I mean, that like gave me chills when he said it like that. I totally get that, and I think most people do. Like, yeah, we could talk about this forever. That's the reason that, like, from the sidelines, you guys have a podcast that goes 1.5 to 2 hours every week, you know? Like, that's why so many other podcasts, they run for so long. This is it's what we're passionate about.
This is my heritage. When it comes to paintball and my upbringing, this is my heritage. So, and let me tell you, I stand on the back of paintball, and paintball is one of those things where if you treat paintball right, paintball will treat you right. But it's all how much you're willing to give. And you can't be wanting to get. Paintball is one of those things where you're not going to be getting oodles on boodles of money unless you're mouse. Right? And obviously that's where I'm shooting for.
He sacrificed.
That's where I'm shooting for, is, that mouse status, right? But
one day, someday.
Exactly. But paintball isn't going to be one of those things that naturally pays the bills just by being a pro.
Mm-hmm. Well, dude,
and people need to realize that from day one.
Yeah.
Something that you need to invest into yourself for.
For sure. Thank you so much, man.
Dude, thank you for having me, bro.
That was amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding? I got to get you back on. We can do another 2 hours. We'll do 2 hours and 45 minutes next time.
Dude, let me tell you, bro. I got stories for days, bro. Next time, I want you to think of some crazy hard questions, and I will give you some crazy hard answers.
Okay.
Genuinely,
we'll go deep, man.
I'm down.
I got you.
100%.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
You made it. That was a long one, guys, but it was great. I love getting to talk with Steven. I'm hoping to talk to him again, and just who knows what we'll talk about. But thank you so much for sticking around. If you enjoyed this and you want to contribute in any way, best thing you can do is go to cureduchenne.org and make a donation there. It means a lot to me. I talk about it all the time. Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy is a disease that hits real close to home for me. My son has it, and we're just trying to cure it. So if you could donate there, that would mean the most to me. And if you're like, no, for whatever reason you don't want to do that, then you could go to patreon.com and /RiddlesArt, and you could donate there. Or you just leave a comment, like this thing, subscribe, whatever it is. It's just so more people get to see it. And here's some great stuff about Steven Hatch. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great night. Or day. Or whatever time. Have a great life.